Ladies and gents, on January the 1st, 2025, I set myself a challenge to speedrun from nothing to $10,000 generated with nothing but a high income skill and a framework to follow. And very long story short, I completed that challenge in 56 days and I documented the entire process of how I did it. I then uploaded that documentary to YouTube as a 2-hour long movie, which you guys seem to absolutely love, but I wasn't satisfied. I knew deep down that I had an unfair advantage, the fact that I had done it myself before. And so I wanted to set myself a real challenge. And I wanted to do it once more, but this time not with myself. I wanted to take a random subscriber and help them do it with their own high income skill, where they had no previous experience, just the guidance I gave them to see how quickly we could go from nothing to $10,000 generated, ideally in under 90 days. And so on June the 16th, I put out a post saying I was looking to take someone on board. I had 1,000 people apply to be chosen for the challenge. I spent weeks going through the applications until I finally chose someone. And on July the 10th, we finally kicked off the speedrun challenge. And 71 days later, we completed that challenge. And so this video you're about to watch is a full 4-hour plus long documentary breaking down everything we did, every single day, every single decision we took, every single up, every single down, every single trial and tribulation, for you to see exactly how I took a random subscriber and helped them generate $10,000 in 71 days, compiled into an absolute monster of a video. And so this video is not going to be a dopamine-filled wet dream with a bunch of different edits and cuts and animations and music. In fact, there's practically no editing whatsoever, because I want to give you the completely raw reality of exactly how we did what we did. And for you to make the most out of watching this video, I want you to treat this video like you've just paid $3,000-$4,000 for it, because the amount of value and information that you're about to get within it is worth 10 times over if someone has generated $10,000 using the exact information you're about to consume. Because there is nothing we did throughout this challenge that you can't do yourself. There is no information that is out of reach. There is no trick or hack that we use that you don't have the ability to do yourself. It's all here in the open, just down to you to take action. And so grab a pen and paper and listen up, because you're going to enjoy it. Roll the clip. Right, so I'm currently out in a hotel in Switzerland, actually, as you can see here by this gorgeous view. And I'm just going through speedrun applications for the speedrun challenge, and I came across a guy called Marcus, and I like his application. I really do. I think he's kind of like ticked a lot of the boxes of what I'm looking for within a person that I feel like would be suited. He's 18 years old, from the UK, reasonably close to where I am, and that just adds a benefit of me being able to be in close contact. Sure, unfair advantage, call it what you want, but I think that it allows me to make sure that I can get him the result. He ticks a lot of the boxes. He has a small social presence already. He has a social presence with about 95 followers. Creates some content, which means that he's clearly confident with it, which I think is fantastic. So we're going to give him a call. Have a quick chat with him, just basically break the ice, because I want to get to know people before just saying, yeah, you're the winner of the speedrun. So this is that cool. See how it goes. Let's do it. Let's give him a call. Wonder if he picks up. That's going to be the funny thing. Does he pick up a random call from a random number? Pick up. No answer. Maybe the worst decision of your life, Marcus? No, I'm joking. I'll shoot him a message, let him know it's me. I just let him know it's me. Let's see if he gives a call back. Now, we've still got a few other people to go through as well. It's not just him who I want to call. I want to call a few other people, have a few conversations, see where people's heads are at as well. Because, you know, a lot of these people submitted applications through videos, right? I mean, I'm only looking at the people who submitted applications through videos. If they submitted an application and it's just like text, hey, this is why I think I'm the best, I just kind of ignore them, because I feel like they haven't shown enough intention and incentive to actually want to be chosen. So I'm looking at all the videos, and there's a few other killers who have made really cool videos. So go through them as well. Give some other people a call. I do like Marcus, though. I think he just ticks a lot of the boxes. So ideally, if we can make that work, that'll be golden. But if not, we'll move on, onwards and upwards. And real quick, just because I think it's important to give relevance here, when I actually posted the speedrun application, I was actually on a driving trip around Europe. So as I was going through the actual applicants and watching the videos and trying to call people, it was all over the place. Now, I called Marcus the first time. He didn't pick up, as you just saw. He then called me back one random evening in which I ended up picking up. I didn't actually have my camera at hand to record, but we had a brief discussion. I got to know him a little bit. I understood the situation a bit more. And from that point onwards, I said, cool, I'll be in touch. I'll give you a call back when I've actually made my final decision. And the call that you're about to see is that final call back that I made. Right, so we've made our decision. I've made my decision. Marcus is by far the best candidate that I've spoken to so far. He seems like he's the most kind of committed. He seems like he's someone who has taken the most amount of action. You know, I've jumped on a lot of phone calls with people who submitted good forms in the type form, but the problem that I'm finding with a lot of these people is that they're kind of waiting for approval to take any action at all. right? It's like, yes, I want to work with someone that's starting off at ground zero. That is the whole point, starting off at, from nothing and wants to get to 10K. But I also don't want to work with people that haven't given it a try on their own, because if they haven't given it a try on their own, it tells me that I'm going to have to drag them through it. And I'm not looking to drag someone, I'm looking to guide someone. And I know that some people, throw a fit about that. They'll be like, oh man, you meant to help someone that has absolutely nothing and no experience and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, Marcus, I'm assuming, didn't have any experience as of a few months ago, but he's shown me initiative that he's actually tried to gain experience through his own means. And I think that's what I'm finding very, very important when it comes to picking someone. I don't want to pick someone that can't be asked to wake out of bed early enough in the morning to actually get the work done and needs my approval or approval from me to tell them to do that. But I also don't want to work with someone that is already making 3, 4, 5K a month. It defeats the point. So Marcus is kind of that sweet spot where clearly he's trying shit on his own. Clearly he's making progress on his own. Hasn't made any money yet. I think there's quite a few things within his business as well that need to be improved on before anything. But I'm quite happy with where he's at. So I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to give him a FaceTime, and I'm going to tell him the good news that he's actually been chosen for the 0 to 10K speedrun. So let's give him a call. Make sure he's all good with being on camera. Get ahead and go for it. All right, let's give him a go. Yeah, Marcus, how's it going, bro?
Yeah, it's going good, yeah. Just in the middle of some outreach.
Fantastic stuff. How's your weekend been?
Yeah, it was alright. Didn't do much, just went to cinema. It was nice though. Jurassic World, it was a good film.
Yeah.
Good break from the outreach, the grind, but not much.
Nice, man. Nice. You don't mind being on camera, do you?
No.
Fantastic. I had a few more calls, as I mentioned, with a lot of other people, kind of in a similar position, in a similar situation. And by far, I enjoyed our call the most. I think that you kind of with your application, what you said, the initiative that you've already taken, I think you've absolutely nailed it. And so yeah, bro, I want to kind of formally invite you to do the 10K speedrun with me.
Yeah, of course. Sounds great.
Yeah? Amazing, bro. Fantastic.
Sounds amazing to me, yeah. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you choosing me as well. I feel like that's exactly what it is. I have been working. I know how to get myself up. I know how to do the work. I just need that little push, that little bit of guidance, and I feel like I can be there quick. So I'm very confident in that.
100%. Amazing. So for the people watching, give me your current stats at the moment in terms of the business. Where are you at monthly? How many clients have you got? Just to kind of make a day one or day zero starting point.
Yeah, so day zero, I've got 0 clients at the moment. Right now, I'm just doing outreach every single day, trying to get another client. I'm getting a few positive replies, but nothing really happening. And I've had, about no clients, no money for the past month to 2 months at the moment.
Okay, fantastic. Amazing. Well, we'll make that the start point, and then the transition in about 90 days will be 10K per month, 4 clients, whatever it is, which is really exciting stuff. So, ladies and gents, we have our contestant, our speedrun applicant, I suppose. He's a self-motivated guy, incredibly committed. He seems incredibly disciplined as well. Talking about working on his birthday, fuck the holiday, it doesn't matter. So I know that we can make some really cool stuff out of this. And I don't want any of you to watch this and be like, oh man, you chose him because he's a few steps ahead. Not at all. He hasn't done anything that you watching this right now can't do. The material that he's learned from to make some progress has been free material that you can learn from as well. He's just taken action, and that's why he's kind of quote unquote a few steps ahead, why he's starting his outreach and he has a service, because he's already done that shit. Like I said, I want to help someone go from nothing to 10,000 as quick as possible. I can't do that with a person that works against me because they haven't tried anything themselves, So let's do it. Right, this is call 1 with Marcus. Marcus, how's it going, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
I'm good. Amazing. How you feeling?
Bro, I'm so tired. I could not sleep last night. Last night, my mind was just on all night. I was thinking about things. So I've not slept, but I've got 2 shots of espresso. I'm ready to go.
Good man. Amazing, brother. Well, we can just kind of dive into the thick of it. I think as the kind of kickoff call, we've got quite a lot to go through. I've been having a think about your game plan. And yeah, there's a lot to discuss, which is good. It's exciting. We've got a lot of kind of data to work with, which is really, really cool. So yeah, your business as a whole, I just want to get an idea of why it is you're doing what you're doing. Because I know that you do a Ben Bader's course. So I'm assuming that a big element of what you're doing comes from his teaching, right? And you're kind of
replicating his processes and stuff like this. So why is it, because obviously you mentioned your skill copywriting, but what you've got in here in terms of your skills and stuff like that, you've got a lot of stuff that you're kind of like running, which tells me obviously the business's back-end operations. Like I would be an ideal client of yours, right, where you would jump in and you would try and like kind of manage everything, and all I would have to do is make content and coach. So what's your kind of thoughts behind the service?
Yeah. So how I got here was like, it all did start with like just the one skill copywriting of like doing it from yourself back in like August. I was doing like YouTube and I wanted to do some like real business, not just making like self-improvement videos.
You kind of not fell into a trap. I don't think you fall into a trap at all, but you've kind of gone down the path that I went down and a lot of other people go down when they're starting an online business, which is like, give me a business and I'll just start it. That's literally it. And what I do feel like you're doing here is you're spinning a lot of plates. I do agree with Ben where he says like get in on like something, like hook onto something, and then obviously you can develop from there. But I do worry that that your service is managing so many different things that number one, it's going to become incredibly hard for you to scale, because let's say that you got one client and you were doing all of these things, because you mentioned a lot from, managing and strategizing of content to sales to funnels to emails and stuff like this. For someone, a beginner jumping into this and kind of jumping into everything, I feel like it may not be overwhelming for you in terms of like the workload and how much you're actually able to take on, but in terms of like what you're selling and the outcome that you're producing, I feel like it will become a little bit overwhelming. So my kind of idea is like, how can we minimize or simplify and just focus on a few core things and then develop as we go? So
I definitely think right now I've got too much set in stone to be like do all of that, especially at my level, is probably a step too far.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you can definitely develop into all of this 100%, but I get the idea of where, as someone who runs a business, they always start off with a skill regardless. Like Ben started off with copywriting exclusively, developed to ads, and then just kept like kind of evolving, and now he has this. And every single person does a similar thing. Typically starts off with one thing. Like even if you go back to Iman Gazzi's days, right, and where he was doing the SMA, his whole thing was just exclusively, it was because he started off with like football coaches, I'm pretty sure, like football clubs. And he just started off exclusively with social media management, right? That was it. He would like manage their social media. That was his whole gig. And then they were like, we like the social media, but we want a bit more reach. So he would boost posts, and then he developed ads. Like you've got to kind of go one step at a time in order to make sure that you're covering your corners. Because with this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're going to deliver this service, it doesn't say that you're bad at the service, but there is no possible way where you can have 100% efficiency and 100% output on every single one of these things that you're kind of like juggling. Like content alone, you could be a content coach for people who create content, and that could be a service where you're making 10, 20K a month easily. And that could just be the entire thing. Like each and every single one of these things that you've mentioned is its own service. We have a guy in Inner Circle who his whole business is helping people refine their offers. Like he works with fitness coaches and he helps people take their shit offers, which is just like, hey, I'll help you lose 10 pounds in 90 days or like money back, whatever it is. And he'll help them revamp the entire thing. And he does some stuff on like the back end service delivery, but that's pretty much his entire business.
What I'd love to do then is, with the game plan we've got at the moment, what I think would be the best approach to take is if you can kind of like, you can just kind of create a copy of this or revamp it. I would love for you to create a copy that's tailored a bit more towards this idea that we're talking about now, webinars, because at the moment you've got a bunch of stuff in here which is fantastic, but with the webinar stuff it's a little bit more specific. The result is a bit more specific in what you're going to do. It's still quite similar in terms of like you're making them more money, but the vehicle that you're using is different, the strategy overview is different, all this kind of stuff, the uniqueness is different. So if you can have a play around just kind of revamping this, tailoring it a bit more to the webinar side of things, it just means in tomorrow's call we can start breaking all of it down. So we can talk about the market, we can go through the problems, we can go through the pitch and the offer and the pricing, and then once we've done all of that, we've kind of got all the foundations sorted. We've like ticked everything off, it's validated, it makes sense, and then we can start talking about outreach and plan to market and plan of attack and this kind of thing, and what's going to be the best way to reach these guys. So yeah, if you can have a play around revamping that, get it sorted whenever you can. We'll go for it tomorrow morning, and then we can start breaking down every single aspect of it to make sure that it's all kind of like clear, concise, so we can go from there. There we go, we're recording. Marcus, how did you find day one?
Day one was amazing. I've got so much clarity, so ready to go, and I'm really looking forward to it. I know exactly what I need to do with the skills, the offer, and it's more clear now. I've got a specific service, a specific skill set, and it's just about getting it set out in an actual game plan, and once that's done, we'll be ready to start getting clients.
That's it, brother. Exciting stuff. Right, so that is the first call done, ticked off, completed with Marcus. In this first call, it was a bit more of like a breakdown of absolutely everything we're going through, talking about the game plan, what his kind of current ideas are and stuff like that, revamping everything. I mean, Marcus has been in a few different programs, he's been in a few different courses, he's tried a few different things, and the problem that he's kind of like encountered, which I feel like is quite a common problem, is that he's trying to spin a lot of plates at once. He's trying to juggle a lot of things at once because he thinks that that's what's going to give him the best outcome. And it's typical business model, right? It's like, if I just start a business model and I start doing 20 different things because someone else said I should, surely that will, produce me the result. But the problem that he encountered is like, he's not good at those 20 different things, and it's hard to juggle those 20 different things, especially as a beginner or someone who hasn't delivered the service yet. So it was good. We've revamped everything. That first call, blimey how I'm bright. That first call was just to kind of go through absolutely everything. More about his idea and his service and his offer and how he wants to help people, what he wants to do. And there's a lot to be revamped on.
Okay, so it's officially day one of the Speedrun to 10k a month challenge with Callum. I wanted to come on and give a quick kind of update on what I've been doing today. And so we had our call in the morning, the first call, and my God, was that an amazing call. We basically went over like my current service, my current skill, and how I can apply that to a specific, more easy to deliver service that will kind of suit my niche, suit me, suit my skill set of copywriting and automation. So what we decided on was webinars. So doing webinars, challenge funnels for info products and coaches and that kind of thing. Now we're not like fully set on the niche. We might change the niche or specifically what the niche and the qualifiers are for that niche. But other than that, we've pretty much landed on generally like what the mechanism is. And tomorrow we're going to go through the unique selling point and that kind of thing. I've not had much work to do today, to be honest. I've basically done nothing. I've just filled out a new sheet and I've been just going through Callum's course, his profit to scale training. And so I've been going through the 6-figure market recording. That was amazing. That is honestly some of the best insights I've had into picking a niche ever. I've been in a lot of high level programs, but Callum's just way of explaining it from the foundations up is actually insane. Like that was so helpful for me. So I've basically jotted down a few ideas of like, okay, specific niches we're looking at, maybe biz op coaches, maybe fitness and health coaches, maybe LinkedIn coaches, maybe Instagram coaches. I've wrote down all the pros and cons, and then tomorrow on our call, me and Callum are going to decide. But as for everything, that's it for today. It's been an easy day. Obviously it's the first day, so there's not much to do, but tomorrow, the next few days is where it's going to get really serious. We're going to hold down the offer, and for that I am looking forward to it. So yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, doing good.
Good stuff. How you feeling after yesterday's call?
Really good. Yeah, I feel like even just with that, just being like on webinars and something like that, it feels like a lot more clarity, less overwhelming, and just giving so many ideas overnight that I've been like brainstorming and thinking about. So
Nice.
it got me really excited.
I've got your new game plan doc here. Just whip it up real quick. Fantastic. So if you want to just kind of give me like the overview of just kind of where your thoughts are at the moment, and we'll dive into this in a bit more detail and kind of like rip it apart.
Obviously, I went through and just put some original notes on the webinar funnels and things, and what the service delivery would look like, and maybe just a few ideas that I got from the ChatGPT on offers. But in terms of the market, which was like the big one, is I went back and forth with the GPT and another GPT and just kind of brainstormed the ideas. I don't know. It's more like what you think on the like what specific coaches, because you'd obviously have the knowledge on how to choose it, whether you go more niche down, whether you go with maybe like business operation coaches in general or just like biz op coaches in general.
Okay, so I just hopped off my second call with Callum. In today's call, we went over the specific market, which is going to be business coaches. So we've taken the skill of copywriting and automations, but mainly copywriting, applied it to the market of business coaches, and then we need to craft the offer, how we message that, and kind of what we are actually going to do, what the service delivery looks like, what the pricing looks like. So for the rest of the day, I'm just going to be going through Callum's course, going to be going through his stuff on offers and USP, and I'm going to go through, and I've got this little document to fill out for him, go through that, track everything, get everything ready, and on tomorrow's call we're going to finalize the offer. But that's day 2 call complete. The biggest things that I learned today with Callum is the importance of like understanding your market and enjoying who you're working with, because we went through a list of potential markets and I did not like the sound of some of them and I like the sound of others, and even though the ones that I like the sound of might be harder to get to, what would be the point if I didn't actually enjoy working with those people? Like I want to work with people that I enjoy, and so that's the beauty of taking your high income skill and applying it to somebody or applying it to somebody's business that you actually enjoy working with. And that's so important. So like now I've realized if I were to start again, look at, okay, what are my skills? Who do I enjoy working with? Is there a market that would benefit from my skills? And then applying it to that market. And really anybody can do this. Like anybody can start out from nothing and figure out a good market that they enjoy working with a bit of critical thinking, a bit of going back and forth with ChatGPT, you will get there. So that's something that I learned today, and it's so valuable to make sure you're working with the kind of person that you actually want to work with. So what I'm doing now is going through and creating my Grand Slam offer. So we have the service, what I'm going to be delivering, which is webinars. We have the niche, which is BizOp coaches. Now I've got to decide, okay, what is the offer, and want to make a no-brainer offer. And we've already brainstormed a few ideas. Basically what I'm doing is using the help of Callum's Skill to Profit AI system, ChatGPT thing, and also the game plan doc that he's provided me, and some offer modules inside of his course. And I'm going through using these and trying my hardest to come up with multiple different potential offers that my niche and my target avatar would just feel basically stupid to say no to. And this is probably the hardest process because there's so many different things to consider, and if you get it right once, you don't have to do it again. But if you get it wrong, then it basically makes or break your business, and that's a lot of pressure. But I'm just going to go through and spend as much time doing this and figure it out as quickly as possible, because once it's done, we can move on to like the actual real stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to make another quick update video, because basically I've been spending all day brainstorming, as you can see here, a bunch of different offers. And honestly, this has been one of like the most mentally draining parts of what I imagine will be of this whole process, because I'm just sat here, new offer, new result, new idea, new way of doing things, new guarantee. And it's so draining to just keep going through it over and over. But I know that like if I ideate the right things and I just keep going with it, then obviously eventually I'll get there. So as you can see, this is over like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different offers, right? So that's obviously a lot, and I've got to choose from it. So what we're going to do tomorrow, go through it, break it down, figure out which one's actually good. I've got a few favourites, and then once we've done that, we can obviously set the pricing out, and Callum will help me do that, and then we can go from there and actually craft the real strategy. But this is just like the groundworks, the foundations to the business, and it's some of the most painful stuff to do, but it's well worth it.
Right, so we've officially got Marcus in. I believe this is day 1 or day 2 of documenting the process of scaling him from nothing to $10,000 with nothing but a high income skill. So yeah, this is going to be exciting. Now I was doing some brainstorming about like, okay, cool, how can we make this work? How do we make it sort of as easy as it could possibly be for him and for me to be able to make sure that he achieves these results? And I think I understand, or I think I know how I'm going to do it, because I didn't want to do something for Marcus that made it so incredibly unfair for other people, for you watching this, that makes you feel like it's not even possible for you. So this is what I'm doing. Now I'm giving Marcus access to all of my training. So this includes Skill to Profit, which is my $3,000 program, which helps people go from nothing to turning their skill into a profit, identifying the skill, monetizing it, this kind of thing. And I'm also giving him access to Profit to Scale, which is kind of like my second program, which is reasonably new in the past like 5 months-ish, maybe 4, that helps people who already have a skill, already have something like a vehicle, already have something that maybe they're doing, maybe they've come out of the corporate world, whatever it may be, and scale the shit out of that. And in different programs, there's different utility, there's different coaches. Like in my Skill to Profit program, it's all focused around finding a skill, monetizing that skill, doing your outreach, getting your first client. And in the Profit to Scale, it's all focused around scaling. So scaling from that first client to that second, to that third, to that fourth. So we've got ads coaches, we've got outreach coaches, content coaches, sales coaches, automation coaches, quite a lot of coaches, right? Because the idea is to really give you everything you need to scale. Now, I'm giving Marcus access to everything because I need to give him the complete utility belt that he needs to be able to monetize his skill as quickly as possible. And of course, I want to make it unfair where he can win, because if he can't win, or if the odds aren't in his favor, what's the point, right? The other way that we're going to work together is that Marcus and I are going to jump on a call every single morning without fail. Well, there's going to be probably a few failures, I'm assuming, when some days we're busy, some days I'm probably going to be very busy and I'm able to jump on, but almost every single day we're going to jump on a call where we can do like an accountability call, but also like a progress call, but also a coaching call, where every single day we'll go through different aspects of his business, different elements of it. and basically just do daily coaching. And then we can also review what happened yesterday to make sure that obviously he's making the progress he needs to make, and that I can keep as close contact as possible to his progress to make sure that it's all working well, because that was the thing I was worried about. And especially when picking someone to do this challenge with, I needed to pick someone that I truly believed would be able to make it. But that's impossible to judge off the back of a few FaceTime calls. Like, really, I can only judge that after talking to him and working with him for weeks, right, before I can really tell, okay, cool, this is the guy that's going to make it. But I have good confidence in Marcus. He seems super committed. I believe that he has the right intentions behind doing this as well. He doesn't want to make a bit of pocket money. He really wants to build a business. And I see a lot of similarities in myself within him, which is cool, because it also just kind of gives me the reinforcement that this guy's probably going to make it. He's probably going to do something pretty cool.
Okay, so I'm about 3 hours into the workday, and I've just finished the first version of my elevator pitch, which is just basically the way to show off your offer. Now, I'm not quite set on it, but I think we're getting there, looking at adding an extra $20,000 to $50,000 a month in new revenue to people's coaching businesses. And in terms of the USP, the unique selling point, I'm looking at finding a way to use what's called second order consequences, which Callum has just taught me, where you basically look, okay, I solved this problem, what new problem comes up and how can I solve that? Because if you can do that, then you can stand out massively. So my thinking is I generate all these leads and calls using webinars, and then once I've generated it, I use like a post email booking sequence to basically go through with a setter as well and get all the leads that haven't bought, get them onto calls or nurture them further so that in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, they do end up booking in. And I think it's just a really good idea to like stand out. And I've looked at like a few different like market competitors and how I can maybe use what they're doing to go against what they're doing and stand out. And so that is where I'm up to right now. So far, so good.
I know we've got quite a lot of stuff to go through into this call, so we can just kind of dive in if you're all good to go. Do you want to kind of run me through the changes you've made and kind of like what you dove into since yesterday?
Yeah, so I defined a lot of what the problems could be with the market, and then also wrote some more detail about what I think would qualify them to work with me as like a first idea. Okay, like here's like the rough qualifiers, here's who they are. And yeah, I went through a lot of the problems. Obviously, I asked you, and I added a few of those in, and yeah, came up with a few more ideas on what could be the big problems for them. I'm still thinking of some more.
In terms of the market, the people that you've like pulled out, but no, I think it's super clear. I like it. I think you've nailed it. A lot of it, the problems are super applicable as well. Like if I had the funnel pages, not leveraging sales assets. Yeah, these are all really good. I mean, I wouldn't even add anything to the problems, to be honest. I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there. What qualifies them? Fantastic. I mean, to be honest, I think we're good to just look at your offer a bit more now. I think that all the other kind of like points around your offer are kind of ticked off. I'm happy with them. So I think we could just kind of dive into the thick of it with your one. So in terms of the brainstorming you've done, the offers that you've put out, which one are you kind of like leaning towards the most? Because I see you've chucked down quite a few ideas.
To install a profitable webinar funnel in your business, and or you don't pay, or you pay when you generate results, which I think is really good message to start with. I did add one in where I was thinking, okay, let's go a bit broader. I did add one in which I could make multiple more versions of, and get to the bottom of with like a broader offer of like coaches and consultants. We will install a done for you webinar ecosystem that nurtures and converts your audience into high paying clients every single month, and you only pay if you profit. That's like a first idea of what would be like a broad one.
Okay, so I've just finished up working, doing even more work on the offer and just the service, and really trying to figure out the pricing. So what we've landed on for the webinars on the pricing, I don't know if you can actually see that, a 2.5k setup fee, and then we're going to take 15% profit share, or we can waive the setup fee and take 35% of the profit that the webinar generates. Work on a few guarantee conditions right now. And then we also have a few ideas for the snapshots. Okay, so how do we like kind of quickly describe what the offer is? A few ideas for the long form offer, and a few ideas for the elevator pitch. Like long form you use on sales calls, and then the elevator pitch you kind of use everywhere. So I've just been figuring that out, basically just ideating all day long, and it's been painful, but I feel like we're just closing in and we're getting there faster. And like as we move along this, I just feel better and better, more clear, more specific. I'm understanding really exactly what I need to do and how I'm monetizing this skill, because now I have a clear service, I have a clear offer, I have a clear guarantee, everything's all aligning, and it just feels like it's all nearly ready, and the rest of it is just through the outreach and the content, which is probably easier than the foundation. So yeah, it's been going well. Okay, so we have just created the first mock-up of the website. This is the headline and like the offer that we're going with for the beginning, which is pretty simple. Everything's kind of clean, and then basically what we've gone ahead and done is create a full website plan in Canva. And as you can see, the full website is here, everything's there, and it's all mocked out for me to then go ahead and build this out myself. So that's what I'm going to do next. But yeah, it feels really good to have like a concrete plan of a website built. So it's moving along fast, the foundations are getting built, we have the offer, everything's going well. Okay, so I've just finished building out the full pipeline, which basically explains from start to finish with the market all the way to the end with the, like, what happens once you've delivered the result. And then at the same time, I'm building out a checklist for delivery, so I can have everything honed in from what happens from beginning, doing outreach, and then like getting them on the sales call, getting them as a client, delivering the result, what we do after the result, and how that entire delivery process looks like from A to Z, so I can just copy it and make it happen time and time again. And having a system like this just makes it so easy to run, makes it so efficient, and yeah, it's going so well so far. Okay, so I've just finished up work for today. Honestly, today has been probably one of the most mentally draining days, just because I've been coming up with different ideas for websites. I'm still not like 100% on my offer, so it's like day 3. And we're nearly there, but we're just going back and forth with loads of different ideas, changing different parts of it to try and get it, you know, close to as perfect as possible. Coming up with ideas for the website, and obviously because so much is moving so quick, my brain just fried. And yeah, it's been really mentally draining. And also, I think today, a lot of like doubt or just a realization in what I'm doing, and that, like, you know, you get all excited some days, and then some days you're doing all these things, you can't come up with the good ideas, your brain's just not working, and you just end up feeling kind of nowhere near as good. It's like a high and then a low and then a higher and then a low. So that's end of day 3. Kind of a difficult day, but still pushed through, still got some stuff done, and I'm hoping that tomorrow we can really hone in everything that I've been struggling with and get over it. But it just kind of, yeah, it's been a bit of a tough day today, so hopefully tomorrow is better.
Yeah, man. How was yesterday anyway? What did you end up cracking on with?
Yeah, so first thing I did was watch through the troubleshooting thing. Made a little diagram, added a little barrel to it so I could really visualize
Nice,
it,
nice.
and kind of marked out everything that I'd be doing with that, so I could really clearly visualize it. I did that on Miro, and then
Perfect.
what else did I do? So I did the first draft of the website. Just made like a mock on Canva just to visualize what it would look like. Came up with a few colors, and then I'm going to make like a separate design with different colors to look and compare, see which one I like best, because colors is a thing I struggle with picking. Same with logos, names, all this stuff is not my speciality. Names, I have no idea whether any of the names that I came up with are good, but I did write some in the game plan doc, and now picking names is not my speciality. I mean, I like, you know, webinar architects, the webinar code, but other than that, I couldn't think of anything better than all these names.
So I actually do really like one to many. Do you know if that's taken at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
One-to-many.co.uk is taken. One-to-many.com's taken. Because you could always do something like, you know, make the domain one-to-many media if you want, one-to-many marketing, and then the main text on the website can be one-to-many. Just that, you know, so you can do. I mean, one-to-many marketing may not be a bad idea.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's have a look at that.
Fantastic, cool. So what else have you been working on at the moment? I know you mentioned the Miro board. Have you got a link to that I could check out?
Yes.
Fine. I mean, with this kind of diagram, the thing I love about it is that you can go into such crazy heavy detail with it. I'll give you an example, right? Because this is absolutely fine, and it kind of explains the process of kind of how are you taking the market and turning that into cash in the bank. But I love to use this kind of diagram to really elaborate as much as possible. So let me actually I'll show you my version of it, because that may make a lot more sense. Let me show you my screen. This is my one that I used with the chat bot, right? So here, obviously, you can see the whole pipeline, the whole barrel. the market and where it's pumping water into. So all of this was the process of me actually like acquiring a client. So lead sourcing, quality check, information amendments, lead importing info into outreach sequences, and all this kind of stuff. So I would break up the subject line, the first line, the offer, the tonality of the email, the size of the email, the CTA, because this allowed me to kind of split test these things. So if I found that, hey, I'm not getting a lot of responses here, which is obviously the goal of starting email outreach, I can look at these things, subject line, first line, offer, and you can do a similar thing with the content. You can almost be like, it's hard with content because it's not like a one sum game. Like there's a lot that goes into it, but as much as you possibly can, breaking it apart into like its moving components and being like, okay, cool. So when it comes down to content, hook, CTA, value, the consistency, whatever it is, or what the different attributes go into content, I probably wouldn't worry about it too much because I don't know how much a pipeline like this would help content. This is more just about like, you can make content part of the tool that you use to actually turn the tap on, basically, and then from there, you can talk about different areas of like, do they get hooked on by a lead magnet? What happens then? Do you then start the email outreach? Okay, cool. So what do you do with the email outreach? But I built this out. It's in much more detail. Then when I get to email conversations, they can either ghost me or I set up a follow-up sequence. I did a free audit. I re-engaged them, email convo, and everything to the point of where, cool, they've booked in the call. Now what happens before we booked in the call? This is part of the sales call here. And then happy days if I collect payment, and then the bit is part of the actual delivery. So as soon as I sign the client, I first do a strategy call and I build the bot itself and I make amendments and changes based on what they want. I integrate the bot, I do customer support, I do bi-weekly support, and I get money. So like this idea here is that with the chatbot service, when I got a client, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I know it comes across a little bit tedious because it's like, well, I just want to get the client first, but having a clear process of exactly what you expect to get them and how you get them is golden, because also it means that you can start to optimize this. If you're not getting, again, many responses, something here is broken, something backwards from responses is broken, and that's what you need to sort out.
So the next thing that I'm now doing is building out the funnel in Framer. So we've kind of got the design laid out, we've got the offer laid out inside of Canva, and like planned it out, and this is like a really good system to use, and then going ahead and actually building it out in Framer side by side, comparing it with other funnels. For example, as a reference, I'm using a lot of Callum's funnel. I'm also using Charlie's funnel, who runs webinars as well. So this is helping me really get a good idea of what I want my website to look like, and then just going through step by step, looking at it, changing the layout, and then what I'm going to do is build this full thing out over the next few days, and then that'll be ready to go alongside outreach. Okay, so I just made a massive breakthrough. We finally came up with a good name because we wanted to make it something related to webinars, but something that can still be expanded out in the future. So we ended up going with one-to-many-marketing.com. The name of the company is One-to-Many Marketing. So I think that's a really good name because it encapsulates webinars and that kind of idea while still being something that we can expand on, and it allows us to now build a logo, build an offer all around the idea of one-to-many marketing, of selling things on a webinar to a lot of people at once. That can be expanded to challenge funnels, it can be expanded to literally anything really, because things like content, that's also one-to-many. So it's a really good name, and I'm glad to get that settled on. Now I just need to build out the logo. An important part of obviously getting good at a skill is like learning the skill and knowing how to do it. You can't just make a service if you don't know how to deliver. So what I've started doing is building out like a webinar or copywriting hub. So here, basically what I'm going to do is find basic copywriting principles to improve my skill. Finally, just random notes, take notes on courses, go and join other live webinars. For example, I found a few from like Eddie Cumberbatch, for example, and just go on all these other webinars and just learn how they work as much as possible. Take notes, find things that I can implement, even to the point where I might do like a draft mock webinar for Callum as like a practice to see what I'd do if I wanted to build a webinar. Let's say I sign Callum as a client, then build a webinar for him. So I've been going through doing that and trying to get as good at the skill at the same time as building out the services, so that when I obviously do get a client, I know what I'm going to be delivering on, I know what that service looks like, and that just makes things really easy.
And had a good day, had a good meal. So yeah, it was a good recharge, but still managed to get in some work as well, which was good. So yeah, it was good. It was really nice.
Cool. 19 years old.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Firstly, if you want to kind of run me through just what you managed to kind of tick off over the weekend, what you kind of tackled and stuff like this.
Yeah, so main thing was I just like binged an absolute ton of like things on copywriting, webinars, mainly webinars, obviously. Built out like a nice big kind of service delivery doc, got a really, really good understanding of what I want to do, went in through old courses I had, for example, Ben's course, and looked at what he did with webinars with Cardinal Mason, things like that, found different templates for emails, just to really understand when, where, you know, what we do, and I kind of got a really good idea on the timeline of as delivery as well, that can be shortened a little bit, just to like 7 to 10 days of market research, 7 to 10 days of building a sales page, the prep, all of that. And then, like, for example, I was watching Charlie's full webinar course, and he said he builds the rest of the emails as he goes along. So he does the announcement email, then builds the stuff, instead of I was going to build everything before, which was a good idea. And then other than that, I was building out the funnel on Framer. And then I just like I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't learning it fast, and I don't like the design of it. So I'm just going to go back to Go High Level. I've got good templates for that, and I started planning out last night, of what I want that to look like. And then other than those two things, I watched all the courses on content as well inside of Skill to Profit and Profit to Scale, so that I could get a really good ground understanding of content before we started discussing it.
100%. So in terms of the actual service delivery, where would you say you're at on like a kind of scale of 1 to 10, 10 being cool, I can run it tomorrow, and 1 being I have no idea what I'm talking about?
I would say like 7 to 8, 8-ish probably.
Just to kind of pick off what we've done so far, I mean, the most of the game plan doc is actually finished, which is fantastic. I think now it's just a big take on getting the last bits up and running, obviously, and like keep harnessing your skills and webbies, and then yeah, it's just a case of content and outreach really, until we start to see some traction, and obviously we can test based on that. So in terms of the content side of things, did you manage to take a deep dive into that yesterday at all?
Yeah, I built out like a full document. I will put it, in fact, it's in the Discord.
Oh yeah, you did send it. Let me have a look.
Yeah, I built out basically like a bit of a strategy based on all the videos inside of the course, and really had a look and did some research, and got also a very good understanding of kind of like the repeatable formula that even though everyone has their own unique spin on it, they all seem to be, there was a few things that I picked on that I could like really easily use. So
100%. So how are you kind of feeling about it all?
yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, I managed to get my first video scripted.
Okay.
With a good, decent hook. I wrote down the hook, and then I also wrote down the like some bullet points is what I want to say. I also kind of got the content ideas that I'd want to go with. So like basically decide on the idea that a lot of the people see, I thought you had to do like quite a separation, right? So you either do like storytelling stuff, or you do you're either one of these people that documents, or you're one of these people that just like shows value. But most people, especially the ones that are doing well at the moment, across every single piece of content, are more the ones that actually don't even talk about, like a lot of coaches coaching, people that are coaching coaches don't talk about coaching all the time. In fact, a lot of the audience comes from things like, obviously there's the stories and things like that, the stories and the lifestyles and the like closing deals and things like that. And that made me realize a lot. I used to just think, I've got to sit down here and say, here's the top 5 tips to make a webinar successful. But you don't need that, and that obviously helps. That can work. There's a place for that. But I kind of settled on the idea of going with like telling my story, and through telling my story, I hope that I can relate to people that would be coaches, because a lot of coaches relate to entrepreneurship struggles, and then throughout that I can weave in, like, as I talk about webinars, as I think just having you in my corner is enough social proof, because like if I say I'm getting personally one-to-one trained by you to build webinar funnels for people, that is instantly a little bit of social proof. Then as I get my first client, my second client, hopefully people would see that story and start to think, okay, if they are a coach, this guy actually could be worth looking at. And then as it builds, as I get the first like client and the first win, I show the story behind that. I tell the story about where they were in the beginning and how using like a webinar got them to a new result, and just want to focus massively on those like stories and transformations that I'm going through. And then as things progress, then start to teach what I'm learning, teach the value, share the results and things like that.
Yeah, no, spot on. I think you've absolutely nailed it. I mean, when it comes to your actual content, kind of what you post, but you still want to provide value, you can do it in other ways. You know, instead of sitting down and being like 3 tips for you to run your first webinar, it could be something like, I don't know, let's say you're running a campaign. It could be like, I don't know, set up the back end email systems for me that are going to make someone XYZ amount of money, right? So there's still like a figure there that it's like, okay, how is someone going to, let's say you say, I don't know, set up the back end email system of a 50k webinar with me. That still piques the right amount of interest, because it's like, how is someone producing 50k webinar? But you're showing your work and your expertise indirectly through content, right? It's not a case of like, here's the emails I would write if blah blah blah, but it's kind of like, do it with me. And it also shows that you are already doing it, which I think is massive. I think that there's a very clear difference between people that have a service, that run the service actively and actively having clients, and people who have a service that want to run the service, if you know what I mean. And you can tell there's 2 differences in content, where people are like, here's how to do this, or here's how I'm doing this, or watch me do this, you know. So I think that once you again, you can even do it with mock-ups. You know, you can do a mock-up kind of like setting up the back-end email system. So you could be like, set up a back-end email system of a 50k webinar with me, or whatever it may be, right? But I think at the same time, you're just giving people, you're opening up their eyes to it as well, because I think webinars, I wouldn't say this common. I would say that a lot of the reason that people don't do them, especially coaches, is just because they're not fully aware of them, and they can't fully comprehend exactly how they work and how they're super beneficial, which is good, because it means that there's an element of teaching that's required in order for you to kind of get them over the line, which I think is good, again, because it doesn't mean they have preconceived beliefs around it. If they had preconceived beliefs and they were like, webinars are shit, and you have to somehow convince them otherwise, that makes it a very difficult task for you. But I believe, and I know this because I was in a position, that most people just don't really get it. They just don't really understand it. They don't really understand how it's going to be so beneficial. So through your content, you can do an element of teaching, but also an element of documenting your journey and showing your work through example, as per to showing it through top 10 tips to blah blah blah.
Okay, so today we've really honed in on the ideas for the content strategy. So we basically have that finished off, and basically what we're going to be doing is documenting the whole entire journey inside of Instagram, but doing it in a way that still makes me like perceived as an authority figure, still shows off my skill set, shows that I actually know what I'm doing with my service. And we're going to be doing like a speedrun series where at the hook, then we just have a story telling what I'm doing with some B-roll in the background, some subtitles, some nice music, but that not really focusing on teaching, more focusing on just like showing the journey, and then along with that, kind of highlighting what I'm doing, how it's working, and showing my expertise in copywriting, in webinar building, and things like that. Okay, so the website is pretty much complete. Obviously ignore my dusty screen, but the last part is kind of the VSL. We have a full website breaking down the entire strategy. Just need a few final touches, maybe a change in background, and then we'll have that done. But the next thing is to do the VSL. And so for the VSL, what I'm doing is taking inspiration from a friend of mine. Instead of doing a very tight-knit VSL where it's scripted out, you kind of have a presentation or something like that. What I'm going to do is follow along with one of my friend's styles, where basically what he has done is gone ahead and use a Miro board to break down their entire processes in less than 3 minutes. So if you're a coach, you watch that and you think, you know what, he's broken down all these different systems on a Miro board and made it super easy for me to understand. I'm going to book a call with this guy, and that's why I love this. So really the next step is just going into Miro and building out this board and hoping that it turns out looking good, and this will take me quite a while. But once that's done, then the whole entire VSL website will be done and ready to go. And then the next stage is building out the confirmation funnel. And so here, we have in Go High Level, which is where I'm building the funnel, we have a confirmation page that I've started working on. As you can see, we want one last thing before you go. It's got like a cool little green background, important things to know, and that's it. And then it'll have a video telling them what to do when they confirm. So that's nearly done. The next stage is just to get sorted on a name, so we can put a domain to all of this, and then from there, it's pretty much going to be finished. The whole entire website ready to put in front of eyeballs and start getting some traffic to it, and hopefully start booking some calls. Okay, I've now just finished the first draft of the brand new VSL, which is going to go on the website. And the plan with this VSL is to basically have it be like a visual Miro board mapped out on one thing so they can see it. And what I've gone with is the angle of being kind of anti-salesy. So as you can see, it's not too long. It's just about, I believe, like 7 to 8 minutes long. And I used Poppy AI, which I'd recommend massively, to help me do this. And the goal is to make it like super like non-salesy and make it seem like I'm just there like a friend, just saying, here's what I do, should you work with me, should you not work with me? And I think it's going to work really well. And the sections that we've gone through is basically like a quick intro, and then we've dove into exactly who we work with, what their pain points are, why they should use webinars. And this is the most lengthy section because it's basically just convincing them like why webinars work and explaining my mechanism for webinars. Then we'll go over the guarantee really quickly, and then finally we'll like have a visual of the exact step-by-step service delivery process so they can see what we do for them. And then there's a simple CTA to book a call. And the great thing about this as well is that I've said things like, this will be a high pressure sales call, because it's not, because at the moment we're using the 2-call close method, so it won't be just like forcing them to buy on the spot. But that is a really good update and a really good bit of progress so far on the VSL. Just need to get it reviewed, and then it should be ready to film, record, and the website should be basically done.
Right, so we are now day 10 of the Speedrun with Marcus, and we're moving along really, really nicely. Like I'm super, super happy with our progress. Just for an update of where we're at, what we're working on at the moment. Currently, we're working on a few different things, all right? Everything is set up, the basics are set up, the offer's set up, it all makes sense, we're happy, ticks the boxes, fantastic. We got to get his other foundations set up, and these are kind of like variables in a way, because you can change his website, you can tweak and improve, but we need to make sure that this is set up before we move on to any kind of outreach, any kind of marketing, going to market, anything like that. So at the moment, we're working on his website. We've just done the first draft of the website, which is good. I'm happy with it. A few changes to make, but apart from that, it's solid. I'll send it over in a minute. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. We've scripted Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels are underway as well in terms of the content that we're putting out. We're starting to kind of like piece together a strategy of what that looks like, what makes sense, how are we talking directly to his prospect that he wants to end up converting, which is a bit of a mind game you got to get around, really, because it's quite hard. When you think of making content, it's like, cool, I'll just talk about what I'm doing, but actually you really have to think 5-6 steps ahead in terms of how is my prospect going to react to this, and start to work backwards. And also, Marcus is just finalizing, going through some content on the outreach module. And also just going through the content strategy as well. We have quite a lot of content on that within the inner circle, so that's what he's working through as we speak. And it's looking good. It's looking really, really good. I'll show you his website draft for now. He's got a draft, he's got a very, very basic VSL on there, and I'll show you what it looks like. So after quite a lot of back and forth on the website, this is what we're working with at the moment. So you've got his headline up here, super nice headline, I'm a fan of it. Basic kind of VSL template here that we've just filled in. We've also got application here, which makes sense. We need to go through these questions and tweak and improve them. We've also got some more info on webinars as a whole, which is going to be fantastic. Info about how the strategy works, how it's pieced together. More information about his service, going into a bit more detail, and of course his guarantee, and a bit of information on him. And then another application form at the bottom where someone can book in a call. Now, I'm a fan of this. It's not perfect. There's definitely a few tweaks need to be made in order to just kind of give it that wow factor, give it that oomph. But after a few different revisions, I think this is good. I'm happy with it. We're going to go through and optimize his process soon, which is kind of like his funnel. So if he had someone that came into the funnel, someone that he wanted to sell to, how he would actually go about doing that and making sure that there's no red flags that jump out. Because at the moment, there's some basic things like spelling mistakes. Some of the questions don't make sense. But apart from that, to be honest, it's not bad at all, which is really good. It's all kind of falling into place at the moment, which is it's golden. It's really nice. And just for those of you interested, here is the basic template that he used to actually fill out his website and build his funnel together. You can steal what you want, but this is basically it. You start off with the above the fold, the hero section, headline, subheading, call to action, ideally the VSL, which he's got, bit of social proof, overview of your services, problem solution section, detailed features or benefits, case studies, success stories, about him, guarantees, trust builders, final call to action, FAQ section and footer. This is the template that we're using to piece it together, which it's worked. I think it looks sick. But as always, we've got another call tomorrow where we're going to go through the final bits of the VSL, make sure it's perfect, make sure it's the finalized version, go through some more content on outreach as well, and make sure that he is fully up to date with the strategies and different methods that he can use. And then to be honest, it's just a case of getting the outreach kicked off. I mean, we're 10 days in, he's got majority of the basics set up, working on getting content out. I want to get his first post out as soon as possible because I don't want Marcus to fall into the trap of like boring outreach. Basically, I think that it's an absolute killer for service-based businesses, so we need to pair that with content as soon as possible. That's what's going to allow him to massively stand out within his space. So that's the kind of main focus at the moment, building out the foundations, getting the content system running, not only on Instagram as well, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, potentially YouTube, but I don't think that's really going to serve us in this speed run, potentially for later on down the line. But yeah, I'll update you guys as we go on.
Okay, so we've officially crossed the 2-week mark of the challenge. It's day 14 and I wanted to give a quick update of where we're at. So what we've done so far is finalise the offer, the USP, the service, all these kind of things. And for the past week really, obviously I've had a few different things going on. It's a bit hard to get into the flow of things. But what I've been focusing on is getting things like the website set up. I've been working on the VSL. We've been planning the content strategy. So the first week was kind of foundations. The second week was kind of like actually setting up the strategy. What does that look like? Implementing some of those things. And then now the third week is obviously going to be starting to post content, getting on a call with his outreach coach, all these different things to try and actually finalize a strategy that can be implemented by week 3 and week 4. And then hopefully by week 5 we can have a client already signed. But the main thing that I'm focusing on for the next 1 to 2 weeks for me personally is not signing clients, is not anything like that. It's just making sure I have the correct foundations of the business set up. And so that looks like making sure that I have emails warmed up, right? So that I can send outreach. Making sure that I have the website fully set up with all the email automations and flows set up to make sure people show up when they do book a call. I have my Instagram profile set up. And obviously these things don't take a lot of effort, but they are really important. And then the more important things, like making sure I have the right content set up and the strategy is finalized and all these kind of different things, as well as actually learning webinars. So at least once a day I've set myself the task of watching a video on webinars. So every single day basically I'm reading or learning about webinars, and that is obviously helping me get much better at webinars, much faster, and basically every day I sit down. First thing I do in the morning is grab one of these energy drinks, new tonic, they're really good, and watch a video on webinars just to kind of program my brain so that I can be ready for the day of dealing with webinars. And that's something that I've learned to be such a good tactic for anybody out there, is it's just kind of like program your brain first thing in the morning with a thing that you want to learn. So like learn about it for 10-20 minutes, then go and take action on it. So that's what I've been doing. But as for the 2-week mark, we're heading into the third week, and things are going well, right? Not as fast as I would have wanted them to be, and I'm sure not as fast as Callum would have wanted them to be, but they're moving, and that's important. And I've got a lot of time on my hands coming in kind of week 4, week 5, week 6 to really go through with it. It's been a shame that I've had a few different things come up, but that process is getting there, and it's just about finding that balance between actually getting all of this stuff done and still being happy, not kind of like overrunning myself and putting too much pressure on myself. And that's the balance that I've been really trying to find over the past few weeks, because when you take on a challenge like this, there is a lot of pressure around it, especially like at my age. So I really want to make sure I balance that. But yeah, it's going well. We're into week 3, or we just finished week 2, so yeah, it's going really well. And I reckon by week 5 or 6, not going to put any expectations on it, but we should have the first client. And I'm so confident on actually implementing webinars and actually making them for people. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, so agenda for day 14 is 2 main things: record first Instagram reel and record the VSL. And for the VSL, I gave a few updates before, but I've now actually got it fully ready. So what I'll do is I'll move my camera over here and zoom in, so you can actually see what it kind of looks like. So as you can see here, we've got this kind of Miro board, and I'm going to be going through on the actual VSL, first starting out with who exactly we work with, then moving into the pains and stuff like that, then kind of showing a time frame. Oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. If I zoom in, there you go. Then showing like a time frame, then showing people that have also run webinars, and then just breaking down our systems. And having something like this for a VSL, right, is insanely powerful, right? So if you build out like a Miro board for your VSL, and you say these are the systems that we're going to implement you. Now we're going with a very like raw style of VSL where it's kind of like straight to the point because it's business to business, right? And that might not always be the case with you, but if you have this raw style, this is my service delivery. Is on this screen right now. You can see everything that I would do for somebody. And so not only does that make it easy for someone to make a business decision on whether they should work with me, because they can look at that and they go, you know what, he's kind of competent, he's got the system set up. They can also, or I can also look at that and go, here's exactly what I need to implement for you. We first implement market research, then we do offer creation, then we do the sign-up system, then the show-up system, then the conversion system, then the follow-up system. So obviously having that overall is really, really powerful for service delivery. I just want to start my clock. I forgot to do that. So yeah, so that's the agenda for today, is to get a video recorded. For the video, the plan for the VSL is I'm going to start on a talking head like this, and then after I've kind of spoke a little bit, I'm going to move into the actual script where we focus, like I've already explained, on like who we work with. We explain the pain points, the benefits of webinars, and then go into the exact systems, then the guarantee, and then get them to book a call. And another tactic that I recently found, which works really well for like VSL, especially if you're doing business to business and you want to be kind of raw and authentic, is the kind of idea of saying at the end of it. So what I'm going to say is, that's pretty much everything. If you feel like this could be a good fit for you, then please go ahead and click the button below, book a call with me, and on this call it won't be a high pressure sales situation, there won't be any high pressure sales tactics. You know, don't worry, for all I care, you can leave your credit card in the freezer. I learned that one from Charlie Morgan. And so the purpose is just simply to see if we're a good fit. And having this inside the VSL and being like, you know what, this isn't about me selling to you because we're using a 2-call close method anyway, so I'm not going to sell to them on the first call. So that really disarms prospects, especially in the beginning. And so my structure of VSL is intro, who we work with, pain points, how webinar solves these pain points, social proof from other people because I don't have any, the exact systems we use, then the guarantee, and then you just tie it all together by just saying, look, I've shown you all of these things, I would love the opportunity to work inside of your business and show you how this could fit for you. Like, would it be cool if we would get a call booked in? No high pressure sales tactics. I just want to see if this could potentially even be a good fit because I'm not sure yet. And I would love to get to know your business and give you some value either way and try and help you out. So that's something that I've learned, which for B2B can work really well for your VSLs. So yeah, that's the plan for the VSL for day 14. I'm basically going to record that VSL, get that done, and then the next step is building the next video out. I also wanted to talk about on day 14 a bit about content. So we've been ideating the content strategy and what exactly we're going to do with the content for quite a while. And what I actually managed to come up with this full Notion content planner where I can visualize everything. Building something out like this is really helpful for content, and so that's what we've done. Something that Callum can also see, so he's been reviewing my script. And if I just like tilt again, I'm going to be doing this a lot throughout these videos, but tilt this down so that you can see my desk, my desktop, my monitor, I should say. So you can see it's got this calendar, right? So we're inside a Notion. We've got this calendar here. So then I can click onto these videos and see, okay, here's when the first video is, and it's out of focus, which is annoying. There you go. And here's the script for it, and then go, okay, what stage am I at with this one? Is it in ideation? Is it in scripting? Is it in packaging? All these different things. And so having a planner out like this is something that I've been working on over the past few days, and it has been absolutely insane for getting the first few things set up. And I can see, okay, today I plan to get a video out. I need to get a video out. And in terms of the actual content strategy, what we've gone with is a mix between documenting, so actually being like, okay, here's who I am, here's what I do, all these different things, and then actually educating, but in the way the educating is going to be in a very entertaining and kind of storytelling way without me losing authority. So, for example, we're going to do a Brez Scales one where I say something like, this 20-year-old makes $1 million a month teaching other people how to scale clothing brands. But here's how I double its revenue overnight with just one simple webinar funnel. So if you're a coach or course seller, listen up, because this is going to give you an unfair advantage. And so I will do like scripts like that, where basically I break down these popular people, take their social proof in the beginning, and then eventually when I get my own social proof, that's when I can touch that. And that's just like a powerful method. Again, another one that I've learned from Callum, and because basically throughout all these videos I want to share what I learned from Callum with you guys. And one of the big things is inside of content, take other people's social proof. Another one is like how you actually structure them. And so beforehand I'd make all these Instagram videos, but my scripts would be so merged together. I thought I'd have good hooks, I thought I'd have good scripts, but I wasn't writing like a normal person. And what I mean by that is I wasn't using simple sentence connectors like and, then, therefore, and this happened, so that, but. And the power of those, especially therefore and but, I learned from a book called Storyworthy. The power of those two words inside of a script are so powerful because they are curiosity loop openers. And so I've got now in my script things like saying, first I'd go and do this, then I'd take this because it would help me do that. After that I'd do this, but this wouldn't happen. Then I'd do this, but instead of doing that I'd do this because this would happen. And then I'd do that. And so learning that in the script is obviously I'm hoping gonna massively improve my retention and help out with content. So yeah, use those connector words inside of your script, especially but, because you can say this happened, but this happened. And I look back through all my old content that didn't perform well, and I never said anything like controversial, or I never said anything like, but without doing this will happen. And so that is something that I hope is going to massively change my content. And then the next step is to actually do like the speedrun challenge, where basically I'm going to document my journey, including things like, is it actually possible to build a 10k a month business in less than 90 days using the skill of copywriting? That's going to be one of the hooks that we use. So not just educating, but also showing what I'm doing to kind of hit all angles, with top of funnel where it's just attracting a lot of people in, middle of funnel where it's educated, and bottom of funnel where it's showing who I am, my personality. And I'm hoping that all my videos can have a mix of top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel inside of each of one of them. But yeah, that's things for content. Gonna record these, get these uploaded, headed into week 3. So I will update you as I go. Okay, so it's day 15 and I just got the first video launched, the first live Instagram reel launch. As you can see here, a video basically breaking down breast scales like strategy and how like I'd use webinars for it. As we can see, nearly 500 views. Not awful, you know. I'm aiming for about like 500 to 1,000 views a video for the beginning videos, and then after that like start to improve them and get them between 1,000 and 2,000, just one step at a time, slowly and improving them. But for now I'm happy with like, you know, above 500 views a video on the Instagram short form. So yeah, I've got the first video out, the first video done on day 15, and it feels good. And so then now the plan is just to grind content while outreach is getting set up in the background, and we've got like the instantly warming up all the accounts so that basically you can send like hundreds of emails automated. So yeah, I'm gonna just let these kind of marinate, and then eventually hopefully the content will stack up, the outreach will stack up, and we'll be able to sign the first client in the next like 15 days or so.
All right, ladies and gents, it's a Marcus speedrun update. I have no idea which update this is, but anyway, I just want to kind of give you guys an update of where we've been at for the past kind of like 2 weeks now. So in the last clip I mentioned that we kind of like revamped his game plan and refined everything, which is really solid. I'm genuinely really happy where we're at. I feel like after being in this space for like a decent amount of time now, you just kind of get a tell on whether they have, or someone has a model and a business and an offer and pricing and a strategy that actually makes sense and has legs. And I have confidence with his. It just, the boxes are ticked basically, right? He's clearly solving a problem. He's clearly helping people that actually have that problem that he's trying to solve. And the actual kind of like positioning around how he's helping them is solid. I think it's genuinely really good. So if you don't already know, we've basically landed on running webinars for people. Webinars for coaches and consultants who already have some kind of book and a call funnel, already are selling to people, but they're doing it in a very, very kind of like one-to-one kind of format, one-to-one sales calls. And we want to bring the possibility to them of doing one-to-many. That's the idea. And we've actually, as well, finally landed on his business name, Reach Many Marketing, which I think is solid as well. I think that's cool. And now because his fundamentals are all sorted and they make sense and they're all kind of ticked off, we can actually start focusing on the to-market side of things, which is basically, I'll give you some better lighting. which is basically how we're actually going to approach people, how we're going to reach out to them, and what we're going to pitch them, and how we're actually going to approach it. Because there's plenty of ways to do this, and the problem within the market that he's working in, that being coaches and people online, is that coaches, people who are selling something online, always tend to have a bit of an ego, and that is just the case. It's always going to be the thing you're battling against. It's not like you're reaching out to like your local gym down the road where you can contact various different people within various different positions in the company. With coaches, reaching out to people that sell some kind of information online, you are battling against ego. You're battling against someone who probably doesn't even want to be outreached to in the first place. So it's quite a difficult market to kind of like penetrate, but once you are able to penetrate it, it can be incredibly, incredibly valuable.
I'm good. Sorry I was a bit late.
All right. Have a good day yesterday.
Yeah, it was really nice. Really, really nice day.
We don't have too much to go through today. I don't think it's more just like a catch up, see how everything's going. Your end and stuff like that. So let me just. Yeah, so if you want to kind of just like give me the overview, I know you didn't do too much yesterday, but just kind of give me like an update of where you're at with everything, based on obviously what we spoke about last time as well, in terms of the website, landing page, content, how we feel, how we looking.
Yes, so Friday was looking to be a good day. And then I basically spent like maybe 2.5 hours setting up this new domain, because I was also getting rid of my old domain, which meant I was moving over like you know how like on Chrome I have all like my tabs all organized and like bookmarks on. So I moved that all over. I spent like 2 hours doing that. So I didn't get as much done as I would have wanted to, but I'm glad to have that kind of set up. But with content is the next thing that I got up to was.
Oh, did you manage to get the name as well? Are you happy with the name?
Oh, name. I'm really sorted on that's Reach Many Marketing. I like it. I got the domain and stuff. .com. Got the workspace set up. Got the business email set up.
Lovely.
Got the subdomain set up. The sending email. For Go High Level. Got my Go High Level set up. Got some of the workflow set up for book a call workflow. Got the Calendly linked into the funnel with a redirect to the confirmation page. Obviously need to film a confirmation video or like some instructions for that. I have also set up the reminders on Calendly, text and email. So that's moved forward quite well. And then the name I'm sorted on. I've also worked on my domains. I did all like the back end stuff for the domain, like putting in the different like records to make sure it was good for the future. And then I got into content finally after like 2.5 hours of doing that.
Okay, so it's day 18, I believe, and it's been about 3 days since I last updated everybody, because basically I've had a few things going on, so it's been hard to really get much done. But what I have got finalized is the email automations are basically finalized, right? So when someone books in a call, what you need is these reminders, the email reminders, the text reminders, etc. So on Calendly first, because when people booking a call, I've got a bunch of basically booked call, 24-hour reminder, 1-hour reminders on email and text, so that it ensures that they show up. And then I've also set up a welcome sequence inside of Go High Level, which basically means that when people join, they get 2 things. It doesn't matter where they come from. Well, actually it does. If they come through the discovery call, they get the discovery call workflow, which is just more confirmation, more reminders, more bits of case studies when I get them eventually. Then they come through the new lead automation as well. And then if they're just like opt in for a lead magnet, they come through the new lead automation. And so I'll show you them. The first discovery call workflow is here, and it's pretty simple. It's a pretty basic thing. Basically just when they book a call, I get sent an email, I get sent an SMS, I wait, and then I just send them a confirmation email. That's it. But then they also get a tag that adds them to the new lead sequence if they book a discovery call with me, because I want to be getting the social proof in there and anything like that. And I'm building that out right now. As you can see, we've got a welcome email, but this welcome email goes into a lot more detail, basically sharing my whole entire story. Then we just have it to wait 1 day. I'm going to have it wait 1 day. And as you can see so far, I've got 2 emails done. Need to do 3 more emails and that'll be done. But as you can see, again, the emails, these are in way more detail in the discovery call workflow, right? So this first one is breaking beliefs about the actual webinars themselves, like why webinars should be ran. Day 2 is talking about like audiences and how webinars leverage audiences. Day 3 is going to go on like the components of the webinar, and then I'm just going to run a 5-day email sequence to basically to people that come through any side, whether that's a lead magnet, whatever that may be. And then also I'm working on actually building those lead magnets out so that I can actually have something that I can give to people and get their emails in exchange for. But other than that, not really much else to cover for day 18. I do have the Instagram nice and set up now, pretty much fully set up. As you can see, we've got my videos. The first video I posted, bread scale, sat on just under 1,000 views, 770 is not terrible. And then as we can see up here, we've got it like documenting my journey, helping coaches and operators print with webinars, and check out my free stuff. Got a link to my website in there now. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Everything's set up on the Instagram. We've also got a lot of these done, and then the basic goal is to have a system ready so that if somebody books a call with me, everything's there, it's ready, because they could be booking a call with me within the next day, within the next 2 days, so who knows when we'll actually be getting those calls booked in, so we need something there. And then what we're going to do tomorrow is go through and just troubleshoot that, basically go through it step by step. Is this part of the funnel working? Like, if you were a buyer or prospect, whatever, would that make sense, right? So just go through it step by step, break it down, analyze it. And that's actually one thing that I've learned massively through the process of working Callum, is with Callum, should I say, is to just break everything down like step by step. I know I'm on a bit of a rant here, but just go through it like step by step, break it down, make sure it makes sense, and then make it once, then come back to it the next day and sit on it. And then, you know, make it better again, and just keep working on it until you have a perfected kind of outcome that you wanted originally, but don't try and do that all in one go. So yeah, that's everything for day 18. I've got a call with the outreach coach, Ollie, later on, so I'll obviously update you and let you know how that goes. Okay, so it's the end of the day, and I managed to basically make a lot of good progress on my next reel. That's the plan, is just to be making like as many reels as possible. So the next reel that I'm doing is focus on Shelby Sapp's like webinars. As you can see, got the timeline on the editing ready, basically everything's ready. Then I just need to edit it tomorrow fully, and then once I've done that, I can post it hopefully tomorrow night. That'll be my second Instagram reel out, which will obviously mean a lot more progress, which is really good. And other than that, I didn't get to do much today other than literally record this reel, plan this reel, and then do the stuff that I showed you earlier on today. But that's it for day 18 really. I guess we'll catch up tomorrow. Okay, so it is start of day 19, and the plan of action for today is to edit the Shelby Sapp webinar breakdown, is to work on outreach methods and strategy and things like that, go through courses, and then other than that, just getting my LinkedIn and Twitter set up. So yesterday I had my call with Ollie, and the plan for that was to go through it. That's Callum's outreach coach, by the way, and we just went through, okay, what is the strategy we're going to be targeting? And so we've gone with LinkedIn, Instagram, and email as like the 3 places we'll be targeting. And we'll be using a permission-based style on LinkedIn, where you build up connections and then you basically send them a permission-based DM, which is just like, can I send you a pitch, and you pitch them. Same system for Instagram. You just send them a pitch. It's a bit more casual though. Sorry, you send them permission for a pitch, then you pitch them when they say yes. That's just like a video that you record, you send it to them. And then also figuring out, okay, how do I want to get leads? How do I want to lead source? And have a strategy for that. Other than that, in terms of data agenda, that's pretty much it. So yesterday I got email automations done. I got the Shelby video recorded, so I'm trying to get another video out today before I go away tomorrow. But overall, good progress moving forward, and we're just starting to get the outreach strategy planned out and making sure it's looking good. So it's been a few hours since I made the last video, and it's day 19, so I wanted to make a bit of an update of how I'm feeling so far through the challenge. Obviously, we've got all the things set up, and now it's starting to get real, because now we're setting up outreach, we're setting up all these various different things, and it's starting to feel really real. And I've not had the time to work on these things as much as I wanted, especially this first 20 days, and already a quarter of the challenge is up. And that just fills me with a lot of anxiety. But one thing that I've actually learned through that is that when you are filling yourself with all this anxiety because you're like, I need to work, I need to get this done, you've got all these deadlines, I've got pressure because I want to prove to Callum that I can do this for him, I want to prove to his audience that I can do this, I want to just, you know, get all this accountability, and all these people tell me I need to do all these different things. That puts so much pressure on you, but it forces you to work. And I used to think anxiety was bad. Like, I used to think that if I felt like that, that was a terrible thing. And now I've realised that is the exact thing, that anxiety, that like kind of worry about, can I get this thing done, that pressure on me is the thing that is making me perform better, is the thing that is making me do more work than before. And that is obviously a great feeling, because I now know that the negative emotions surrounding work and surrounding entrepreneurship, like doubt, anxiety, they're the exact times that you should be pushing through. And if you're not getting those feelings, then you're not doing something right. And that I've just learned this so much over the past nearly 20 days. And because I haven't been able to get as much work done as I wanted, all I can think about is getting it done. So when I can get it done, I do get it done. And that's making me ultra productive. So yeah, those feelings, they're natural. A bit of advice to my former self is just push through, like do the work anyway. If you're feeling anxious, do the work anyway. Because the only way to solve those is to do more work. Like if I'd have done more work over these past few weeks, I wouldn't feeling the anxiety I'm feeling now around this, the pressure I'm feeling now, because I would have done more work. But I've had things come up that stop me from doing work. And it's forcing me to just find any time I can to get these things done because I want to succeed. And when you've got that kind of pressure on you, it forces you to actually do the work. And so if you can find a way to get pressure like I have, obviously it's going to be hard to replicate what I've got with this challenge, but it works, right? And it definitely has a positive impact. And those negative emotions shouldn't be demonized. You should see them as good things almost. So yeah, that's a bit of a personal update. Other than that, I have just got through more of the Shelby video. I'm going to post that tonight. And tomorrow I'm not going to be able to work, so that's going to be frustrating, but yeah, that's getting through quite quick. So as I said before, I've been working on the Shelby SAP video where I just break down our webinars, but I've also just been working on a new SOP hub. So if I take my camera off the tripod, you'll see here inside of my new Google Drive, which I'm going to make but look a little bit better, I've made a section for SOPs, right? And SOPs, if you don't know what they are, they're just standard operating procedures, systems that you can use time and time again. And so what I've got is the recording hub so far, and this has got nothing in it, and then the first SOP, which is the onboarding SOP. And so I do have a few SOPs inside of Notion, but I'm transferring them over following systems of Charlie Morgan. I don't know if you guys have heard of him before. Basically, I found his SOPs, and I'm going to copy how he uses those SOPs, and as you can see here, we now have a full onboarding SOP, which explains basically what they need to do. It gives them an onboarding form, as you can see here, and this is transferred. I might have shown this on a few days ago, but it's transferred over to the Google Doc. And now obviously you can see it looks very, very, very nice, very clean, structured. There's going to be a video that walks them through it. They have like type forms that they can just go and access, fill out all the information that we need for them. This can just get them all access to our stuff and get us printing with them as fast as possible. So yeah, got a really important part of the business because my thing's going down. SOPs at the end of the day, yeah, really important part of the business because, if I can get it on the tripod, there you go. Really important part because they allow you to just have lightning quick delivery. And so now I'm getting even more understanding around delivery. I'm finding it easier and easier and easier to just use these systems like this. And like now I can just have them, as soon as I get a client through outreach or content, bang, give them the systems, set up. I've got more to build for like SOPs for like outreach, and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I've got one hub for that as well, so that's going to work really, really well. So I made a bit of an update video earlier on talking about the feeling of being in a lot of pressure. And that pressure has made me do a lot of work today. In fact, we're currently on track for about 5.5 hours of deep work track. So I like to track my day every day with like a full life tracker that I've got inside of my Google Docs. And today was like a very much a day of just getting everything done, like getting a lot of back-end systems in place, making sure that it's all just there to be ready. So, for example, I just hopped around from things. So, I made a new onboarding SOP that's in Google Docs, and then I made an Instagram video, right? And then I set up my X profile and made my first X post, or Twitter. And then I set up my LinkedIn profile a bit and started working on that and got some connections on that. And then I did an Instagram story, and I also did some permission DMs. So that's it. I've done so much I can't remember it, but I did some like outreach stuff, so basically scripting, watching a course from Callum and his outreach coach on how to script messages that you send on LinkedIn, which is basically like videos you send. And then I also wrote 2 more emails for my 5-day email sequence for when new leads opt in, and that was all done with AI as well. It's actually a cheat code. Like AI wrote me an insanely good 5-day email sequence. I had to then just do the second 20% of the work, and that just shows when you can leverage AI. Honestly, you can get the work done so much faster. It's actually insane. So now, in terms of where I'm at, I have email flow set up. I don't yet have my lead magnet set up, and that's something I would want to get done once I get back from holiday next week. I've got discovery call workflow set up on Calendly as well. I've got a new lead sequence set up. I've got the website fully set up, the profiles set up. So we're really starting to move the needle a little bit more and actually get things done, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, it's been a very good day, and I've actually managed to document a lot as well. So let's go for tomorrow. Can't remember what day we're on, to be honest, but yeah, it's going really, really well so far.
Right, so ladies and gents, we have our outreach plan together. We're pretty much together. Now, yesterday, Marcus had a chat with my outreach coach inside my program, Ollie Sleep, who's an absolute beast at outreach. That's kind of what he's there for. And we put together a bit of an outreach plan and a kind of plan of attack of how we are going to reach out to these coaches. Because as I believe I said in the last clip, hitting coaches, people with egos, is a very difficult thing to do. It's not just a typical give them a cold call, because number one, you have their number. It's not just a case of sending one email, because they're not going to give a fuck. So you've really got to kind of build out a bit of the plan of how you can approach it. So we have a good one. Now, we're using an approach of omnipresence, where essentially we're not only going to do the outreach to them, but we're going to go incredibly value heavy and value dense. We're also going to be posting content at the same time to put up a bit of a social proof and a bit of credibility. And we're also going to attack it with email. So it's kind of like a triangle, okay? Up here is Instagram outreach. That's probably the best platform that we can actually contact these coaches on. Instagram up here. We've got content down here, and we've got emails down here. And with this kind of like triangle approach, I'm quite confident that not only we're going to get in contact with these people that we want to actually reach out to, and we're going to grab their attention, but with the other 2 points of the triangle, depending on what we're focusing on, that's going to be the points that are actually going to get them to reply and get them over the line. So I'm quite confident. He built out a plan with Ollie, basic kind of scripts and stuff like that. And now we're going to kind of figure out how we're actually going to physically outreach these people. So we are currently day 18 into the challenge. Fundamentals sorted, foundations set, everything is happy days, hunky-dory. Now it's outreach time. Oh, also we've got to set up some of his social media accounts as well. So things like LinkedIn need setting up, things like X needs setting up, not because we're going to really use these as the main outreach approaches, but although I want to focus with Marcus on the next 90 days and making sure this speed run is perfect and we've obviously finished it successfully, I also want to make sure I'm kind of setting him up for success and making sure that he has all the things he needs, that after the 90 days he can continue to build his business and continue to make money. And that is also going to mean that he has to build up his social profiles, even if they're not relevant right now. But that's what we're focusing on. And then we focus on content. Okay. Let me zoom out. Ladies and gents, day 20 of the 0 to 10K speedrun challenge with Marcus. It's going well. Things are moving along very, very nicely. He's officially kind of started the process of warming up his emails for his outreach. We've got the scripts together, we've got the approach together, we've kind of got the plan of attack together and how we're actually going to contact these people, and our offer, which is incredibly important because outreach is a very, very busy space, let's say, especially with Instagram DMs, especially with emails, which means if you really want to contact these people, you've got to stand out. And the way that we're going to do that is basically just by providing a ridiculous amount of free value up front to just who's interested, pull together some lead magnets, and then we can we're laying out like traps almost, bait for people to jump on. And when we see the people that jump on that bait, that's when we know that they are an interested buyer, potentially a prospect, and we can jump on them in a really normal way. And also Marcus has posted his first video as well, which is fantastic. He posted a video about breast scales. We're kind of positioning him on socials as like an authority figure, someone who's good at his craft, knows what he's doing, but also someone who is also super kind of up to date with the info space. So he's made a video, I'll put it on the screen now, about breast scales, like a breakdown of how he made money or how he can make more money over a webinar.
This 20-year-old makes over $1 million a month teaching people how to scale clothing brands. But here's how I double his revenue overnight using one simple webinar funnel. So if you're a coach or course seller, listen up, because this will give you an unfair advantage.
Which is good. It means he's kind of like, we're starting to get the ball rolling, especially with the social media side of things, because that side of things is tedious, it's difficult. You've got to put a lot in without getting anything out for a long period of time. Yeah, first video should be live, which is awesome.
So I believe it's day 22? Yeah, I think it's 22. I've just got back from holiday, so I haven't been able to record for the past 2 days. So basically been able to do no work other than a bit of watching courses while I was away. But I have managed to get back to work today. I've just had my call with Callum. And so the agenda for day 22 is quite a big one because I'm finalizing the scripts for my DM outreach strategy. So I'm going to basically go through that get those scripts done, and then I'm also going to work on some more content for the next week. So one of the videos that I did, the Shelby video, got 1.5k views, and that shows it's working this early on. I mean, it was my only second video with Callum, so yeah, it's working so far. It's going well, and I've just got to really finalise the scripts, get all that done today, and then from there I should be good to kind of start outreach. I know it's taken quite a while, like 20 days in, but these things take a while to set up because you got to do the foundations, skills, and you got to get all the outreach set up, and then also you've got to do like the warming up, the email accounts. All that kind of thing is very difficult, and they won't even be done for a while. They will be done to like day 30. It'll take a month to even be doing email outreach because of just warming them up, the foundations and all that. So yeah, everything's going good though. Just some final touches, and then tomorrow we're going to go through and troubleshoot everything, and we should be ready to keep scaling and get outreach going. So yeah, I'll update you guys as I go along today. Okay, so I've been working for absolutely ages, and I managed to finally get the scripts and the VSL done, or the evergreen VSL done for my outreach. And so basically what I needed to go ahead and do was watch for a bunch of courses, and I can show you this as well on my screen. Is I had to, that's my face, I had to go through, anyway, let's turn this so I can see it. I had to go through here and basically build out this entire drive that you can see here, and you can see DM Sorcery, Instagram, and this is going to be split up into DM Sorcery on LinkedIn, DM Sorcery on Instagram, and then a cold email system. And so if we go into here, you can still see this. You can see that I've now got all the resources, including the trackers, the SOPs, basically systemized content, right? Because if I just turn it back to me, when you, it's really zoomed in, when you systemize content, not content outreach, should I say, not content outreach, when you systemize it and you have a system for it, it makes it so much easier because you have variables to hit, you have KPIs to hit. So if my system is, I'm going to send this, and if this happens, do this, and if this happens, do this, then I know that I always have to show up and do that every single day. Whereas if I have I used to have loads of random just outreach scripts when I was emotional about it, that's not going to get you anywhere. So I built out all these kind of things, including all the follow-ups, the memes that I'm going to send, which are pretty funny, the text, the video I'm going to send, then if they do allow me to pitch them the video that I'll send then, all the follow-ups, everything's organized in one drive, including a way to track all of this. So to be super easy for me. I've even been working on the lead sourcing SOP to go hand in hand with it. So pretty much everything is set up and ready to go in terms of outreach. I just need to get a lead sourcer and start lead sourcing, and then I should be ready to really grind out this outreach system. So I've got that done. Now I need to go into some content. Okay, we've got to the end of the day, and I've been working non-stop basically to get as much done as possible. And I've managed to plan out, as you can see on my calendar, you can kind of make it out here, multiple different videos. So I already have one up here, or here should I say, you can see that already scripted out. And so Callum wanted me to go ahead and plan out the next week of content, and we've got a really good system here for that. So in case you've not already seen it yet, having a system like this is actually amazing. If I zoom in on it, you can kind of see that that's just the Notion content planner. So basically all it does is when I want to make a video, I put it onto the content planner, I can put it into what stage of ideation, scripting, etc. that it's in, and I managed to come out with something like this where I can plan for the next 2 weeks in advance. And so that's what I've done today. I have come up with the ideas, not the scriptures, the ideas for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different videos. And in my content, I'm trying to really hit 3 different areas. So you got the top of funnel where I'm trying to capture people, the middle of funnel where I'm trying to show my expertise, and the bottom of funnel where I'm trying to get people to like me. And you've probably heard of that split before for content, but I always thought that was kind of a split for coaches or like course sellers. But it works also exactly the same for agencies. Like, you don't have to just show your case studies and your proof and your testimonial and your skills. You also have to be a likable character, because again, people buy from people. And so what I've gone ahead with is 3 videos, I believe, 3 videos that are pure educational, purely around webinars. An Alex Emosi video, a video saying how I'd make one of my idols, or like mentors, people that I watch a lot, Jack Hopkins, probably heard of him, how I'd make him more money of a webinar, because I genuinely think he's missing out on that, and I'm basically going to tag him on that. Then also one on like why you need one-to-many sales. And then elsewhere, I've made kind of one, I'd say top of funnel, maybe 2 top of funnels. The kind of bottom of funnel and top of funnel can almost mix in together. I guess you'd kind of not split it into a funnel. You'd more split it into content pillars, which Callum told me this today. Value, just trying to get as viral, or trying to basically reach as many people as possible. And then kind of a middle, or like an expertise or whatever. or kind of like a story, maybe like something like that, should I say, like a story, advice, I've done this, I've done that. And so I've gone with the 3 other videos that I've got planned out. Copywriting is not dead, so talking about the topic of copywriting AI. In that, I'm going to mention that I copyright for coaches, subtly mentioning my authority. My plan to become a millionaire by the time I turn 21. Again, that's just like purely, that couldn't be considered both bottom funnel and top funnel, because it's more about me, but I'm also trying to, that's going to piss a lot of people off if I say something like, I'm 19, I plan to become a millionaire by the time I turn 21, here's how. And then also mentored by a millionaire, so talking about the first 30 days of being mentored by Callum. So got a really good split there, got those planned out. Tomorrow I've got to go through and actually script them out, and the good thing is next week I'm going to be on holiday, so I'm going to have some crazy backgrounds to film some content in, so I'm definitely going to be leveraging that and just filming a shit ton. If I can try and plan out a few weeks in advance and just film and keep filming as much as possible and getting it reviewed by Callum and iterating as quick as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've just been sat at my desk all day, not even going to the gym, trying to get as much work done as possible, and I've managed to do that. So yeah, good day, really successful day, one of my most productive days yet in the challenge, and hoping that we can get that first client soon. Okay, so it is the start of day 23. Let me just move my camera over here. There you go. Start of day 23, and today I have a few big goals. First one is I've got the first outreach scripts reviewed by Callum and Ollie, and I'm going to go ahead and change them a little bit. So we had the plan of sending like a permission based video and then an evergreen VSL, but after a bit of discussion with me and Callum, we decided that because of the nature of coaches, with him being a coach himself, he can say to me, having an evergreen VSL that you kind of send somebody once you've had permission, it just kind of seems like there's no personalization to that. And so we're going to try and flip that situation up and have it so that the permission video is quite evergreen and quite simple almost, and then the video, should I say, the VSL, is like a Loom audit where I show that I've done some kind of free work. In that sense, I will be able to really demonstrate my expertise and do something that's personalized whilst being able to still do that at scale, because first we gauge interest by asking for permission with the video. It's like, hey man, can I get permission to send you this pitch? And then you send it to them, and then you get the video over to them, and it's like a more personalized audit. So you only end up doing the free work for somebody who actually did show interest. So it's like free work with a permission, which I think is a really good method to doing things. And so I'm going to work on changing that up today. And I've also just planned out the next 3 pieces of content in terms of scripting them. I've scripted a video on building a webinar funnel for Jack Hopkins. I've scripted a video on my plan to become a millionaire, and I've also scripted a video on why copywriting will not be replaced by AI if you use it right. So I've got some good scripts done already. That's like the first step of the day. Next step is really to probably get the outreach scripts done, get those done, get them sent over, get a bit of a new strategy around that. It's the same kind of idea of video asking for permission, but I can leverage different ideas. Like an idea I was going to leverage was saying to them something like, I will get you a coffee if you don't get any value from this video. Like, hey man, can I get permission to pitch you on this thing? It's an amazing opportunity, and if you hate it and you get no value, listen, send me PayPal, I'll buy you coffee for the rest of the week. And worst case is I have to send someone £10 for coffee. Best case is they watch the video and become a client. So pretty good trade-off. So I'll get that done next, and then should be able to be good with getting another video out today. I want to get like a Hormozy video out talking about his new launch. That shouldn't take me too long to do. And I also want to put out a job post for a lead sourcer, because I need a lead sourcer ASAP, because I want to be starting outreach in the next 2 to 3 days. So getting some good progress done, getting the ball in motion, I guess is the term to say it. And yeah, I'll keep updated throughout the day. So I've just finished up on the outreach scripts. That took me a while. In fact, I've been working for about 3.5 hours today already, and I've not even finished these outreach scripts fully. So what I've got so far is the new kind of permission DM section. So by that I mean the video. So we've got a few scripts that I'm going to send over to Callum for reviewing and get them looked at. But once we've got them, I can go into making like the permission granted videos. So like I said before, the changes from evergreen VSL that I record once and send to a bunch of people to a system that is more personalized, and like I'll send them a video that actually is meaningful and has personalization, has value, etc. And so for example, like the scripts has gone from an evergreen script to saying something like, yo, it's Marcus here, I I want to be totally honest with you, I'm making this to pitch you on something. I think it could help you scale your program. I don't want to do that without having your permission first. If you're cool with it, shoot me a thumbs up. I'll send her a video explaining how it works, and I know this is random, so feel free to ghost me. So that's like kind of what the script was before. And now the script is going to be something like this. This isn't finalized, it's going to be something like this. Hey name, I saw your post about dogs, and it gave me a couple ideas on how to turn more of your attention into clients. Now don't worry, this isn't a pitch or anything, but I do think if you switch to like a one-to-many sales system, you could crush it even more than you already are. And I'd love to send a quick video going over the ideas I had for your business. I don't want to do that without first having your permission, so if that's alright with you, send me a thumbs up and I will send that over. And if you absolutely hate me and feel like I've wasted your time, send me a PayPal and I'll buy your coffee for the next 2 days. That's an example of one of the few that I've made to send over to Callum for review. And then I've also made the start of the Loom video. And in the Loom video, I'm basically just going to say, hey man, I was on Instagram, came across your profile, got some ideas I want to share with you, I think you're going to love them. I don't want to be another bot in your DMs, so I made you something for free, I think you're going to love it. And if you get to the end of the video, you feel like you've got no value whatsoever, shoot me your PayPal and I'll get you a coffee, or I'll get you coffee or energy drinks if you like me, and a caffeine fiend for the rest of the week. By the way, I then just say who I am, what I do, who I help, and then I add a bit of context saying a few case studies that I have from the past. So I think it's important to have it like that, is to kind of make it clear that you're not necessarily trying to pitch them anymore, just trying to be genuine and help them. You come across like a real human that way, so I'm trying to really hone in on that angle. I'm just combining multiple different methods to do so. So I've got that done. Next step is to film an Alex Hormozi video, because I want to try and get that actually uploaded today, if I can. It shouldn't take me too long. So the plan for that is to basically have Hormozi on my screen and be like, this is Hormozi, he's launching webinars with his new, he's launching like his book of webinars. So I want to talk about how that links in, but for now I'm gonna focus on doing that, record that, and then focus back on the outreach scripts, send that over to Callum, get them reviewed, and then I'm going to edit the Alex Hormozi video tomorrow and try and get that out. And then I'm on holiday, so I'll have plenty of opportunity to write some or film some really clean looking videos, so it's going to be good. So yeah, speak soon. Okay, so I've just recorded the Alex Hormozi video. I think I might do a second take of it, because it's always good to do second takes in content. That's what I've learned. Do the first take, mess up loads, do the second take, and it will always sound 10 times better for some reason. But basically what I did was just constantly like go here and point to Alex Hormozi the whole time. Sounds a bit stupid, but I'm trying to get the visual hooks in. So yeah, it was a decent thing, but I think I'm going to re-record it and then should be able to get that out by the end of the night, and content's just rolling. Going and going. I think the Shelby video is nearly on 2,000 views, so it's going really well. Okay, take 2 done. I think it's ready to be edited, so I'm going to start working on that now. Obviously, again, like I said, always take a second take, because that second take was just so much better. I was so much more warmed up. I was so much more in the flow of it. And now I've got that second take done, I'm going to go ahead and edit it and get it ready, and should hopefully be able to get it out by tonight. I've obviously got a few other priorities that I need to get done, but yeah, I'm praying that I can get it done tonight, which will be good, because then that means 3 videos in the last 7 days. It's day 24. I haven't really been able to record too much just because I have been traveling to Croatia. So I want to show you this view because this is what I've been working at. So it's been pretty sick, obviously. I mean, look at that. Fucking beautiful. So I haven't really been able to get too much work done, which means that it's kind of been a little bit of an unproductive day. I did manage to get a lead magnet created, like a full PDF sheet, which obviously helps a lot. And now I'm going to sit and do some work, kind of watch the sunset, and then I'm going to get some like work done on the outreach scripts, because I got some more things to do with them. And then tomorrow I'm hoping that I can send my first 30 odd outreach scripts. Okay, so it's day 25, and like I said yesterday, I haven't really had the chance to get too much work done, simply because I've been on holiday. And actually it's been quite difficult. It's like, how do you find the balance between taking the necessary time off to relax and to enjoy the situation that you're in, but also combining that with getting the work done that you want to get done, right? Because in the end of the day I have a challenge and I have to make this, and I want to make this work, and maybe if I didn't have the challenge and didn't want to do it in 90 days, I could take time off and relax, right? And just enjoy while I'm here. But because of the challenge, I want to work and I want to get this done as fast as possible, and I'm fed up of waiting for it anyway, because I've been on plenty of holidays and I can go on more holidays. So that has been a difficult balance to kind of run through, but I did manage to get about an hour and a half of our work done. And in that time I scripted 3 more Instagram scripts. So I've now got 5 fully scripted Instagram videos ready to record. That's all my Instagram videos recorded for the time while I'm here. So what I can do is basically record them here, probably outside where I am right now, record them, get them done. I was also thinking of doing a YouTube video or two, I have plans for that ready. And then also I have I have been through the cold email course and been working on that and setting up the cold email, and I've obviously nearly ready to have my account send in. Should be about 6 more days, so I'm starting to go through and make my scripts. Obviously I've not made any scripts yet, but I have got like the beginning of the cold email working, and that how that system works is basically instantly AI mass sends out the emails that you write. You have like a personalized first line, and then it goes through the rest. And obviously I'm thinking of getting a lead sourcer. Oh, I've just dropped the camera. I'm thinking of getting a lead sourcer to get the leads for me, or manually building that list. If I zoom out away from my face. So I'm thinking of right now, I'm just ideating on what I want to do for lead sourcing, what I want to do for the script, and I basically got a whole, now I've got a good concept of like how the idea works, and I guess tomorrow I can go through and actually start making the scripts. Might push that off till next week because I also want to record videos, and that's like kind of the main priority, is to take advantage of this, because me and Callum were talking about it yesterday or the day before. When you're in a place like this, right, the authority that you get just from the camera, just from the setting that you're in, like if you saw this video and you saw where I am, you'd instantly think, okay, that looks different to his normal desk. And if you're scrolling through Instagram, you think the same thing, because you can see, okay, this guy's in like a really good situation, a really good place, he must be doing well. So it's like a perceived authority thing that I want to take advantage of while I'm on holiday. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to record tomorrow, try and focus a little bit more on work tomorrow. For now I don't want to really focus on it. Enjoy the day, and also I've been like sticking to my habits, 10 minutes meditation a day, reading every single day, visualizations every single day, and journaling. I think, I don't know if I said that already, but there you go. So that's a bit of an update for today. And like I said, probably not going to get too much more done. Just really trying to learn while I've got a chance to sit around and listen to things, is watch courses of Callum's and learn more, and constantly program my brain to get that result, to understand how Callum sees things, and how a 10k month entrepreneur needs to be, because like the programming matters, the things you put in obviously matter a lot. And so I'm doing a lot of that as well. I'm just sat around watching or listening to courses, listening to Callum's stuff, listening to stuff that he recommends, and that's obviously helping a lot. And I've got this desire to work, so it's not like I've just like put my foot off the gas altogether. So yeah, so that's where I'm at as of day 25, just to show you where I'm sat. I mean, firstly, beautiful setting just for the video, but look at that view, boys. And you know what's great about this? I don't know if you can see that. It just gives me so much motivation to work, and not even motivation, but like, it puts me on the frequency of the person that I want to be. Like, when you can get on that frequency, honestly, you start to get it easier, right? Because when you're on the frequency, it impacts your actions, those actions impact, so it impacts your thoughts, those thoughts impact your actions, those actions impact whether you get your desired result or not. And just being something like this, before I've got what I want, puts me on that frequency to get what I want, because I'm like, okay, I'm living this digital nomad lifestyle. So honestly, go weird, it's working so well, and I'm excited to just get the content done tomorrow, so I can kind of relax on that side of things and keep up the good work. And I might also start sending some Instagram outreaches tomorrow as well, so keep you updated on how that one's going.
Right, ladies and gents, it's now day 25 of the 0 to 10k speed run with Marcus, and I've got some updates to share with you all. So based on the last chat we had, we spoke about the fact that he's warming up his emails to start his outreach, and now, or as of yesterday, we put together his full DM outreach plan, which is basically essentially how he's going to contact the people through his DMs. Now, there's so many different ways we can go about doing this, because I do think that Instagram DM is going to be one of his primary ways he's actually going to be able to reach the people that he wants to work with. I think the best way we can go about doing this is through a Loom permission DM, which is, instead of sending a message and be like, hey, here's like a custom thing I built out for you, because we've got to do that regardless, because we've got to tell the people that we're reaching out to that we care about them, we have researched them and all this kind of stuff. So before he goes ahead and says, hey, I've made this for you, he asks for permission. And the reason being is because regardless how good his outreach is and his value is, there's going to be a split between people that do want his stuff and people that don't. And we kind of want to identify those people who do before spending all of our time outreaching to the people who also don't. So in order to identify the people who actually do want his stuff, we do that through a process called a permission outreach
approach, I suppose, which is where he says, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. Would you like me to send this over? You are asking for permission for a further conversation to transpire. And he's doing that through a Loom approach, where essentially he's going to send a message, say, hey, I've got this, I want to create this for you. Not I've got this, because it makes it seem like he's got no time on his hands, so he's just building out random things, random people. He'll say, hey, I want to build this for you. Do you want it, basically? If you do, then we send over a Loom video. He sends over a really quick, under 2 minute long Loom video, which then enables him to have captured the people that are actually interested in the service in the first place, and he can double down, triple down on those people with the value that he provides. That's the approach at the moment. So this is the first day he's actually sending out his Loom videos, or those permission-based messages, which should be good, and we'll start to see sort of how those perform. Fingers crossed they perform well. It's quite easy to optimize. We have some KPIs in place that we're trying to hit, or he's trying to hit, and if things aren't working, if things are broken, then we just fix the broken things. Like, it's actually, I love outreach because it's quite easy to fix, like in terms of like improving bit by bit, because there's really two different important metrics when it comes to outreach. That's open rate and that's reply rate. That's literally it. And it's either one of those two metrics or both of them are going to be bad. So in order to fix that and make sure that we have the best performance possible, we just have to fix those two things. Primarily first, it's going to be seen rate, open rate, and then it's going to be reply rate to those messages. If the open rate's poor, it's fine. We just tweak the opening lines. We tweak the actual initial approach. And I personally think that a really good way that Marcus can go about doing it is, instead of sending a message and being like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, he can actually send a video to them, like a custom video where he sends like this, screen recording, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, but it's much more personal as opposed to just like a text-based approach. And also, when you send videos to someone on Instagram, it pops up with like a little blue icon that you can click play on, and then people can watch the videos from there, so it comes across a bit more unique. You know, even if myself, you know, I'm a coach, I've got over 350,000 followers on Instagram, but if I saw a video in my DM, someone sent me a message, but it was a video, I'm clicking on that because I'm curious, and that's an incredibly kind of good way to actually grab someone's curiosity and take full advantage of it. So that's what we're working on at the moment. He's actually sending out those scripts today, or those outreach messages, as well as focusing on recording content. He's got like 4 or 5 pieces out now. He's doing incredibly well. So yeah, I'll update you guys when we have some notes on that, see how the outreach performs. Fingers crossed, I have a lot of confidence in it. He at least gets some replies, some bite on his line.
Okay, so heading into day 26, focus today is to get outreach and content done. So what I've actually been going ahead and doing is getting my first few outreach messages sent out. And with the outreach, I'm basically sending a personalized message. Not really a personalized message, an evergreen message, but it seems personalized to them, and then I'm going to send them on, if they give me permission, so a Loom video. And so what I've done here is sent my first 15 messages. So we've officially started outreach on my tracker. I've sent my first 15 messages, so obviously that's great. Next step is to get content done, so I'm going to take a little break and do that. But yeah, going well, really good to get the first bit of outreach sent out as well. Okay, so it's start of day 27, and today the plan is really to get content firing again, and also hiring a lead sourcer. So actually, what I've just done is put out a post on Upwork, which is hopefully going to try and get me a VA to do my lead sourcing, which just makes everything 10 times easier. And then other than that, is to just get the 30 outreaches done that I plan to do with the permission DMs, and start looking into email, and also just recording some content for a short form thing. But that's really the goal for today, and it's to try and get that momentum building, which is obviously very hard when you're when you're in a place like this. It's very hard to do outreach and stay consistent and build momentum, which is the thing that I'm struggling with the most. But I'm just trying to get that done, and get the outreach like really building and hit those KPIs every single day, so it kind of becomes like impossible to not succeed. So that's where I'm at so far. Okay, so it's day 31 and I've just got home from Croatia, so I haven't really been able to make any updates for the challenge for the past few days, but I finally got home, which means I can grind. So tomorrow we're going to set out a new plan for basically getting the client. So it's now it's basically 31 days in, so it's a month in, so it's a really good chance to kind of review everything. Obviously foundations done, ticked, logo done, ticked, domains done, and company name done, short form content being set up, done. Outreach script set up for email and for Instagram, done. Lead sourcing system set up, done. And I wanted to show you this actually because we have our first lead sourcer actually going in themselves, and it needs a bit of work, right? I won't lie, they probably need a little bit of work. There's things they can improve on, but we've already got the first 100 leads coming in, which obviously gives me a lot of kind of people to work with. The only problem is they're sourcing a lot of people that are kind of like high level, but I guess there's nothing that you can do about that, right? You know, no one's going to be perfect instantly. If I put my camera there, no one's going to be perfect instantly. One of the main problems that I'm noticing with this lead source specifically is that, and I did say this inside my training that I sent them, they are sourcing a lot of people, like for example William Brown, Charlie Morgan, Callum Carver is on there actually, Cam Oliveira, Ben Bader, you know, let me have a look, see if any other big names. Cardinal Mason, who already runs it. Sander Stage that runs IPGA. So a lot of them are kind of Tyson Fury, the copywriting guru guy. So a lot of these leads are not qualified because they're way too above them. But I guess that's something that only a bit of training and like experience could do, because for jumping straight into it with the training that I gave them, they've actually done a really, really good job, I would say. They've got a lot of good leads. I'd say about 70 to 80% of the leads I can use. So that's a really good start with the lead source. And I've got 2 other lead sources in the pipeline. So the aim is to have 2 sourcing at the same time, and they're collecting me a personalized name win. So basically, they have to go on the thing and find like a result that coach has got their own student, so that I can use that in personalized messaging. For example, the first thing I say in my permission-based YouTube video on Instagram is, hey, I saw the client win you got with name, congrats. First thing I say on my email, if I get it up quickly, with the first kind of draft of the email, the en masse emails that I'm going to be sending out, we're going to start with by saying, hey, saw the, if I just share it, and I've got a few examples of some reviews from Ollie, the outreach coach. So yeah, join Skill to Profit so you can get reviews yourself. But hey name, saw the I'm putting the wrong place. Hey name, saw the case study with client name, massive results, especially in your niche. That's how I'm starting out to get that personalization in early on. So I need that, and they're doing a really, really good job of that. Like I can't complain about that. I can't complain about them getting emails. They've missed a few emails, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of like the 90 leads they've sourced so far they've missed, which isn't too bad. I mean, you're not going to find the email for everyone, and they are getting a lot of support kind of emails, support at person, which we don't want. So they're going to need a bit of training basically, which is obviously tedious, manual and time consuming, but I'm trying to think of other ways to lead source so that I can kind of speed this process up. One process I was thinking of doing was scraping more directly from the comments of people with lead magnets. So I'm going to think about activating that, and what I might even do tonight is set up a WOP for my team and put all the training individually in these little courses so they can go through it step by step, and that gives it a lot easier for me to add new modules about lead sourcing and really split it up. So I'm going to do that so that I have the correct leads, and they can just go through all that training. Right now I've got it on 1 hour course, so I can change that. But that's an update for day 31, 30 days in, and I've just actually finished exporting a piece of content. I'm trying this kind of Miro board style. The audio is not great on it, which is annoying because it is filmed in a really nice position. So basically the goal is one piece of content every other day and outreach every single day, 30 messages. So that's what I'm going to try and get done now. And next step that I've done, which is actually really cool, is build out my own internal school community. Now I've been wanting to have some kind of thing for all the trainings in one place for ages, and I just said in the last one I might make a WOP community, and I forgot that school just released a $9 a month community feature, and so I'm taking advantage of that, because why would I not? Because I can have my community section, if I show you this, community section, introduction, and then the classroom where all the training is, and I'm already building out the training. And this is so that I can just hire lead sources and have them all in here. Now obviously it's taking a lot of time because there's all these different trainings that they have to go through, and I've got to record them. But it just makes life so much easier. And I just didn't think of this until now, and I was like, when it came to me, it was such a huge epiphany that I had to build it out without thinking. Got that done. So I'm really excited to share that with the people that I've currently got sourcing for me. Day 32. We're making some really good progress. I wanted to come on here and update everything. Apologies if I look really red. I've got my red light but no other light on me, so I look like insanely red. Let me like move that out of the way a bit. I don't know if that'll change anything. But yeah, so the goal today, we've just got back from holiday. The goal is to really start scaling the system. So me and Callum went over kind of a good enough action plan for what every day needs to look like. And with making a Miro board style like short form video yesterday, that's what I've decided to land on, is this kind of Miro board style of videos. If I just quickly pull this over here, showing you my whole room in the process. So this kind of Miro board reel, it's doing all right, right? Only 600 views in the first day. That's not terrible, but this style is really cool, and you can see a lot of people commenting on it, so good engagement, and I really enjoyed making it. And the beauty of it is that I could turn this thing around in literally about 2 hours of work, which means I can probably print about one of these out a day, like maybe 5 of these out a week, for example. And so I'm working on a new one for that, explaining like the 3 systems to scale any info business. That's today. I got the last one out yesterday. The audio was trash. You couldn't fix it. So I'm hoping that's not a problem today. And then other than that, I've just done my first 15 outreaches with the new personalized method. These are videos that you send. You can only send 15 an hour. So it's not that I'm not doing enough scale. I just literally can only send 15 an hour. And I think the max is 50 messages a day on an account. So I have to obviously watch that and monitor that. So I've just sent my first 15 for the day. The goal is obviously to go away, is to kind of do the next work and then come back and send another 15 to hit the KPI of 30. And I want to be hitting 30 every single day. So I need to make sure I've got those leads ready and just keep discipline with that. I also want to be doing the short form content and then working more on the X and the LinkedIn to make sure that they're also printing and just have this omnipresent system. But that's the plan for today, is to really just start scaling up the outreach system. It's obviously not easy and it's requiring a lot of discipline and work, but having this challenge makes it better, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it and really hoping that I can get that first call booked in the next week or 2. So I've just gone ahead and uploaded the next reel. In fact, I'll show you it on my phone. Another split screen reel. I don't know if that's going to focus. Another split screen reel. So obviously that's a really, really good thing. They're really, really easy to get out, and I've been able to just like print them at a high rate. And so if I can get one out tomorrow as well, this will be back to back to back day posting. And that's obviously really good because I want to be switching away from outreach as fast as possible. But I have done 15 outreach messages so far. So I'm going to head off for break. I've literally done like 4 hours of straight work. And I'm going to go on a call next with a friend of Callum's to help me with lead sourcing a bit. So obviously lead sourcing is really the biggest bottleneck for us. Because I've got the stuff for lead sourcing, but hiring is very slow because it's a very tedious process. So I'm trying to get that lead list built up as fast as possible, and the email mechanisms that we use rely on a lot of kind of manual lead list building and having a big lead list ready. So that's why I'm also honing on content as much as possible, and the content's not been doing bad since me and Callum started working together. I mean, my goal was just to always be above like 600 views, because before that my average video would get like 500, 600 views, and I've had 1,300, 2,000, 900, 500, 600, and that 600 one's only a day old, and then this one's just been posted. But that's really cool, and I'm just working more and more on making sure everything looks good. And it's built up, and I've just also released 2 new modules I've just put into the school community for my team, for the lead sourcing team. So like, that's a really, really good way to just hire the VAs and have them do it for me. I'm trying to build that up as fast as possible and get them to all watch that, so that everyone can be up to scratch. And I'm going through and just constantly reviewing that and making sure I've got the right amount of leads and who I want. And work's been really good and really easy, and I've managed to get out the short form piece of content relatively effortlessly, and that's why I love the like kind of split screen. Why have I gone so dark? Jesus. That's why I love the split screen Miro style. It's really, really cool. So I need to do that, come back from a break, go on this call with Callum's friend about lead sourcing, and then finish 15 more outbound messages, and then if I can, finish the email scripts so I can have them ready to start going on Monday, Tuesday time. Okay, so I've done about 8 hours of work today, and I managed to finally get the first day where I got 30 outreaches done. So I got 30 video outreaches done and sent off. I've been tweaking it as I've been going along, and I've landed on what I think is a really good script, and now it just requires volume. I've also got multiple lead sources in and around practicing for me, and I'm looking at new ways to source manually as I go along. So things are really coming along well. I got another piece of content out. I did the 30 outreaches. I had a good call with one of Callum's friends. So Yeah, I think it's just a game of inputs now and just doing the work every day, and it's not easy. Like I've done about 7 hours of work straight. It was certainly hard. It was certainly a difficult thing to do, but I'm learning more and more that I am capable of this kind of stuff. All right, now I'm gonna have food, go to the gym, and that's an insanely good day. Ticked off. So yeah, it's getting better and better. And hopefully we can just keep this momentum up and keep the consistency going. Today's just really been more of the same. Like every single day feels like the exact same now at the moment. 30 outreaches, follow-ups, and content. And that feels like what it's going to probably be like now for the rest of the time. And this is kind of the reality of this situation. Is it's just the same all the time. But that's what makes the difference. And it's every day find that discipline and motivation to do one more follow-up. And so I got my 30 outreaches done, my 30 follow-ups done. And sometimes you get things like this, right, which aren't fun. I don't know if you can see that. But we got our first, it's not really zooming in, but we got our first fuck off, basically, in an actual message. Fella just said to me, F off, it's not zooming in, but yeah. So it's just how it's going to be. We got a few people saying things like, you tend to get this as well, like, hey man, I like your approach. That's cool. And then you've just got, if I check my DMs, this is just a whole bunch of people. I think over 100 people that I've been sending to. And it's just going to be the same shit over and over again. Now, obviously important, I have to track this all the time as well. And things are getting decently in KPI. So, yeah, it's going all right. But I have to also kind of make sure that I focus on tracking that and staying kind of non-emotional about it and hoping that eventually something just comes my way, because it is a hard market to crack. It is a hard thing to do, but with consistency I believe we can get there and kind of establish a good KPI going forward. So it's day 35 and I literally have forgot to record the last 2 days because I've been grinding so hard. All I've been doing, and I feel like this is going to be my daily update now forever, it's just doing the same thing. Outreach 30 a day. Posting content when I can as well. And that's all I'm doing every single day. But as an update on how outreach is going, we're now at 75 outreaches sent. And that's getting towards a test event. And what we're noticing is that the media seen rate, so like how many people are actually seeing those things, is quite low. Now we need a bigger sample, maybe 300 permission DMs sent, because we're only at 75. But it should be around 50%. And right now it's only around 5% of people seeing this message that I'm sending on Instagram. And that could be for many factors. One thing I realised is that on my follow-ups, I'm waiting just under 24 hours to send my first follow-up on recommendation of an old system. But I don't think that actually works for cold outreach, because the whole point is you're sending a video to create curiosity, right? That's what I'm sending. And so I'm having this play video thing, and I'm just not, I'm not like giving them enough time to maybe look at it, see it, scroll through the request. And now I'm going to wait 3 days, so just over 48 hours before I send my first follow-up on the cold messages, and then another 48 hours on the second one, another 48 hours on the one after that, just to allow them to see the play video sign, because that's what creates all the curiosity in the first place. Then my second follow-up will be a voice note, again, creating curiosity when it comes up on Instagram. So that's going well. And then in terms of lead sourcing, it's obviously, it's getting better, so I think I'm pretty sorted on the one lead source that I want. I'm just going through her now and like trying to get her kind of up to scratch, but she's nearly there. And I'm testing different methods. I've been testing a website called IG Leads to try and get mass business emails, but I'm still going through it, and I will still need her to go through it anyway, and kind of scrape them out anyway. So yeah, and I've also been learning a lot about AI agents, and it's just really hard as well. So I'm going to try and keep the updates more frequent now, but it's just been the same every single day. It's just starting to get to that point where it's just a monotonous grind, and that's what you start to realise about business. It's just the same thing. Same outreaches, same content every single day to get the results that you want. Okay, so it's day 36, and agenda for today is the exact same as every other day. I'm just doing the same processes. I've got outreach today, and I've got content. In fact, I've just filmed a short form piece of content. The aim is to try and get 5 of those out a day, which I'm currently on track for, and then 30 a day. But to be honest, so far I've only done 10 this morning, and I've had a really tough time. Just one of those days where you feel just absolutely shit no matter what you do. Like, work has just felt so hard. Many reasons that could be, but I feel like you're just meant to have these days in the whole process. I think one of the biggest things is like doubting a lot of this process, which I know I shouldn't do, but when you kind of like, the pressure's on you to make it there and get that result, it is definitely like sometimes it hits me. Sometimes I get these days where I think, shit, like I have to work hard and I have to do these things, which is great because it's making me do the hard work. But yeah, some days it definitely feels like I can't rest, I can't stop moving, which is good and bad, right? It's good because it allows me to make more progress, but it's bad because I'm nowhere near as present as I used to be. So I'm hoping that throughout this process I can find that balance. But other than that, I am getting the work done. Sometimes I just get, I have to take about 30 minutes, 60 minutes, just sit down and process the feelings that I'm coming up with, if you get what I mean. But as long as what I realise now, as long as you still do the work, it doesn't matter. So I've done 10 outreaches already. I need to get up to 30. I've got the video recorded, need to edit that and get it out. And if I can just get the 30 outreaches done and the video out, I've still hit the daily negotiables. And I'll look back on this day and it'll feel the same as every other day. But the funny thing is, it's not. I felt like shit throughout the day, but if I still hit the KPIs, I look back and go, oh, it was a normal day. It didn't matter how I felt, I still hit it. And so that's really important, I think, and something that I'm learning throughout this. I have a big fucking update. I've just got back from the gym, right? It's a little bit dark. I've just got home and we've booked the first 2 sales calls. Not just 1, 2, back to back. I don't know if that's going to focus. It's not going to focus. There you go. 2 sales calls. One's with an AI offer, one's with a TikTok shop offer. Both decent audiences. Both pretty fucking good. So 2 sales calls booked in one day, all through the system that I did, and I'm going to give you the key takeaway from it right now. If you are selling to anyone that has an ego, info, anyone like that, right? I'm sure there's plenty agency owners, anyone like that, they've all got big egos, even like ecom, they've all got egos. Play to that fucking ego. Now, I had a call today with Charlie, the webinar wizard inside of Callum's course, and he said, play to their ego. So I made my outreach and I literally just said, you're already crushing it, I can make you this much more money. And I got booked calls in, and I just, honestly, I can't, even though it's booked calls, there's no closed deals, just to know that I'm the type of guy now that I can book in a couple sales calls. I can get sales calls, people that are interested in buying from me, because they've booked a call, they're interested in buying, right? No matter what they say, if they have booked a call, they're not just shopping around, they believe that you might have something for them that could be of worth looking into. But yeah, it's an amazing feeling to finally get that in. I mean, I've only been doing outreach, so I started my outreach on the 8th, so Friday. So it's now Tuesday. So it took me 4 days of doing 30 a day to book in my first meeting. And I was starting to give up. I was starting to, like, I was talking about it. I think it was either this morning or yesterday morning. The pressure that I have been feeling recently. And the contrast from how I felt this morning and yesterday to how I feel right now is insane. And it just shows you to not give up and to also not be emotional. I still showed up today. I didn't do the ideal amount of outreach, whatever, but just still show up no matter what. It's so important, no matter how you feel, because this happens. And this is only the beginning. Like, I might not even close both of these deals. Who cares? Right now I know that, okay, I need to send 100 messages and I will get a booked call. Okay, well now I just need to find ways to send more messages. It's just a volume game, a volume consistency and continuous improvement game. And it's starting to pay off finally, and we're only 40 days in, so there's plenty more time if these sales calls don't go how I want them to go. And they don't even have to be treated like sales calls because I'm doing the follow-up calls after them. Anyway, so yeah, absolutely amazing. Feels great. Great update. Finally some like good progress going on. Okay, it's day 37 and we have just got off the first call officially. Obviously my first call, my first sales call, obviously was quite the difficult one. Like, it's always going to be difficult doing your first call. You're always going to be a bit nervous. You're always going to stutter quite a little bit, and that's definitely what happened. I wasn't perfect. But a positive call. We've penciled in a follow-up call for tonight at 5 p.m. because kind of in business to business, a lot of time they need to discuss with internal people, whether that's a smoke screen objection, I don't know, but we are looking at, we're looking at making sure that we get that call booked in today. So first call done. Really glad to just get that out of the way, just do it, to get that first call of the process out of the way. And I'm hoping that we can at least close one today, and it would be very nice. So yeah, been a good day so far. Right boys, some big fucking news. We've officially closed the first client of the Speedrun challenge. I don't know if it'll let me zoom on it. There you can see that. We've got our first 1,000 set up Honestly, it feels so good. I feel so happy right now. We've got the 1,000 set up, and then we've got a 1.5k on results plus a 15% performance split, and then 5% of that is going to Charlie, the webinar wizard. You guys might know him, but honestly, it is an amazing feeling to finally have that done. And in dollars, that's obviously about 25% of the way through the program. Then we're going to be launching this webinar very, very soon. We're going to be launching it on the 31st of August, which means we can see an extra 2-3k plus the extra 1.5 setup. We can see that within the next, I'm thinking we're going to be halfway through the challenge by the end of August, which means we'll only be 60 days in. And then we've got another call tonight, a follow-up call that I've just booked in. So yeah, it's going well. And it's just literally yesterday morning, I made a video all about how I felt so like just scared, if I'm being totally honest, like self-doubt, worry, anxiety. I made a video talking about that, and now I'm here, right? First client close, 1,000 in the bag. I know I can deliver, which makes it even better. I've never been more confident about delivering something, so I'm super, super excited for that. Okay, so it's the day after I had all the sales calls. I forgot to make an update on the last call of the night. So what happened is, obviously we had a follow-up call, we went on it, and the major issue was around case studies, was not having enough case studies yet. So the other guys, they were looking at other vendors, other info agencies who had big case studies. And so I tried to objection handle that in different ways, but obviously being quite new to it and inexperienced with the sales side of things, I don't think I did the greatest job at that. And so after closing one client, having the first sales call, then closing the first client of the series, which obviously was amazing yesterday, managed to get a second call booked in. Didn't go the greatest, but we got him penciled in for a call tonight. So we've got a third follow-up call, somehow managed to pull that together. And with this call, obviously my tone is going to change. I've learned a little bit more about sales. Obviously, it all came around so quick, I didn't really have a chance to dive much into sales as a whole. I had a basic understanding from like YouTube videos and Instagram videos and what I've watched in the past, but I didn't really have a chance to dive into the process and even have a proper script, which is obviously something I can now improve on and we can work on going forward. But yeah, so today I'm going to try and change my tune a little bit and be a bit more focused on why it's taking so long to get the decision across, because we've just reviewed the first call that we had with this guy and it was good. Like, I was strong. I didn't really maybe stack the value as much before the pitch, but it was a good offer, and he started the second call by saying that he was ready to go with the webinar, and then changed his tune all of a sudden. I think around the time I asked for payment, which is a typical standard process. Second call, ask for payment. So yeah, so we've got another call booked in with that guy, and he wants me to come with a more bespoke strategy to him. So that's the plan. I'm going to come with a strategy, but also kind of hone in the idea of like, I'm not going to wait around, and try and position myself as that person that's not going to wait around for somebody to do 4, 5, 6 calls, because he's been on like 4 or 5 calls with other vendors, other people. And so like, why hasn't he pulled the trigger yet? Maybe he's just looking to extract as much information as possible out of that person. So overall, yesterday was super positive. Today's really just a digesting day, getting prepared for what's to come next. Obviously, it's important not to fall off outreach and content, but I've got so much to do in terms of getting this new offer up and ready, like getting my ideas around that ready. The webinar that we're doing with Haroon on the TikTok shop offer, which we've got to start getting the delivery now. So now I've got to learn all the service delivery. I know all the stuff. I've already practiced the copywriting, etc. I know the systems that go into webinar, but I need to learn how to actually do it step by step. And then we've got the next webinar, hopefully from the next client that we sign, whether it's the one today. If not, I need to keep my outreach system just going and going and going. So yeah. So I was meant to have that call that I spoke about earlier at 4:30, and I just got a message, and the guy basically said that he's gone with the Miami info scaler, so a different person to do it, which obviously sucks. But there's not really much you can do when it's a person that's generated hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and obviously that whole sales call, that whole system was a load of learning curve for me, and it's obviously allowed me to get way better for the next sales call. And so what I've actually spent today doing is making sure that I am prepared, because I didn't have a good preparation process for the sales calls that I had the other day. So now I'm working on that. First, obviously getting the B2B sales script ready, which I've now got that kind of done, just need to review that. And then I've also got a little nice proposal sheet that I can give to clients just on that pitch area to show them exactly what I do, because I never had any of these systems kind of set in place, which obviously you can still close without it. I mean, I closed a client yesterday without it, but it's good to have all those systems. It makes you look more professional, and I'm learning those systems as I go, and not just jumping on calls with people, because a lot of the guys I jump on are going to be high ego, they're going to know what they're doing, and they're going to want to match that, see someone who matches that. So that's what I've been focusing on really today. And then we've obviously got the first client to start delivery with. That's a whole new process. So we've been getting him set up with go high level, webinar jam, etc. And tomorrow I'm really going to ramp up the work on that. I'm going to do a bunch of market research then. Today focusing on just getting this next piece of content done, and then also seeing if I can get some outreach or some follow-ups done as well. Today has just been probably one of the worst days that I've had in a while. Obviously we were building so much momentum with the outreach and things, and then it kind of just petered out as I signed the first client. Now I think that's natural to lose that momentum, but I haven't been on it, and I haven't been on things like obviously updating, but obviously it's very hard when you're just so in the thick of it. And content I've been good on is like the only consistent thing. In fact, we've got some good updates on content. If we actually look at it, the content's doing really good, right? So we're looking at like 2,000, nearly 3,000, 1,100, 1,200, 1,500. Like the content's doing well, and it's really serving as a nice base for the outreach. But honestly, these past few days I've just felt so out of it, and that could be that I have had to have a shift from what was becoming a very good daily routine I was building momentum on, and then now I've got service delivery with this client. Like obviously you just get a massive shift instantly from where your priorities have to be, what you have to do in a day time, and you have to kind of level up to the next point of being a business owner, to the point where it's like, okay, I'm now fulfilling on something, which sounds really stupid, right? It sounds like, duh, like, yeah, you're fulfilling, you're a business owner, but when you don't actually do that for a while, like you haven't done it, especially for a new offer like this, and I have never done it for a webinar, you've got so much to learn, so much brain, like, bandwidth is the best way to put it, is put on the delivery. And especially when it's the first client and you want to do so well with them, it's just so hard to get that balance right. And like I go to bed thinking about ideas, I wake up thinking about ideas, but it's clouding all the other areas. And that has been the big blocker, the mental blocker, which has stopped outreach. And that's a big kind of discussion point that me and Callum had today. I mean, it was like around the outreach, and obviously he warned me and said like, you need to be consistent on this, and he was absolutely right to kind of almost call me out on the outreach side of things today, is what he did, because I needed to be. Because if we actually look at like my data on the outreach since I started this Instagram outreach method of doing videos, we're looking at 30 15 30 30 10 0 0 15 30. So you can see that should have been 30, 30, 30, 30, apart from maybe this day where I had sales calls. That should be always on it, you know what I mean, on it all the time. So what I've obviously done to kind of get that in place, and I haven't spoke about it over the past few days, if I just focus on myself, is hire a setter. So yeah, I've been hiring like a friend of mine to do the setting for me, and we've been going through that process of kind of training him up, and like managed to build like a full SOP out for him. And obviously that's really important, because I was saying the other day, you do end up feeling like a proper business owner. You know what I mean? Like when you're hiring people, like I've now got 3 people below me. So I have a friend of mine who's going to help me with copy if I ever need it. I have a lead sourcer, and I have a setter to do the outbound setting. And so obviously then, because of that setting, I've had to change the strategy. So I used to do personalized videos, right? I've now had to make them evergreen, because if he's sending out these videos that I'm sending, obviously that makes it, you know, you got to kind of change up your strategy. And so I spent a lot today recording that, and it just absolutely drains my bandwidth, and I can't really, actually I can show you those. So he's been doing that for me, and he's going to be consistent on that. And we are also trying to get a second account warmed up. So for example, right now I have this like second account, Marcus Scales. It's not letting me get verified on, which is what I want to do, but I also want to give it a while to warm up. But once I can get that verified, obviously you can send in 60 a day, because the limit is 30 a day on Instagram per account. And I was going to show you like one of these videos. It's like before, I was doing a very simple style. It's been like, hey name, I saw your program's killing it. I had a few ideas around X. Didn't want to pitch you out your permission. If it's cool with you, I'll send a video. Now it's this, and this was the first draft, and I'm going to re-record this video because I really do not like it, but I needed to be consistent on outreach, right? Sometimes it's better to send out the volume rather than be a perfectionist. So I don't know if it's just me, but I absolutely hate the outreaches that try and beat around the bush. I'm making this because I know for a fact that I can make you a lot of money with a webinar funnel on top of what you're already doing. But I didn't want to be like every other cold DM that you get that pitches you without actually having your permission first. So if you would be open to it, drop me a thumbs up and I'll record a quick video going over the exact step-by-step process I'd use to... Right, you've had enough, right? You get the point. It's boring to listen back to that, by the way, and it's so cringe as well. But you get the idea, and that could be way better. And me and Callum are going through a process of testing that. Obviously, it's just about testing at scale. Like, I was watching today, because I kind of felt low in inspiration around all of the challenge, I was watching a bit of Callum's speedrun just before I filmed this and picked this up, just to try and get around, like, get an idea of what he was doing on day-to-day basis, what he was feeling. And yeah, he definitely went through something similar to what I'm going through, so like the leads and stuff, and sending emails and all that, and like constantly just going back and forth and testing different ideas. The beauty of it is all tracked, right? But if we actually do look at this, you can see now we're on to like different scripts. And so for the next 120, I'm going to be testing this one where I basically just say, I know for a fact I can make you a lot of money as the hook, and then I have added a little bit extra in, which is just saying like, I hate those boring cold outreaches, etc. But then we've got other things like, these are all like cut to the chase scripts, right? All focus on that. And then we're also working on new call out email scripts, because we do have a lot of leads. In fact, inside of my actual CRM, which is where I've got my lead source working, I have this. And as you can see, like, we're looking at a lot of leads. Obviously these red ones that I don't want, but a lot of green leads, and we're now on to like 500. So she's doing an absolute amazing job. And then I've also today gone ahead and made this dream clients checklist. There's a template I got off a friend's program. And what I've been doing is I've been slowly collecting these together. In fact, these need to be all white, so that I can start maybe sending a few more personalized emails out in my own time when I get a chance, with a little bit more personalization on them. And then I'm obviously going to try and use this whole idea here. As you can see, we're getting through more tests of the script. So obviously I was looking through what Callum was using, because in the speedrun he was targeting coaches as well. And we kind of gone with something like this, like, you might hate me for this, etc. And he gets to review this, but it's going through the back and forth process, and it feels like I've been doing cold email scripts for fucking 20 days, and I probably have. I haven't got that system up and running, but obviously things change, and you get a client like I got Haroon signed on and his TikTok shop offer, so things change. And yeah, and then in terms of also Haroon, obviously we're doing service delivery. Haroon's my client, and that process has actually been quite smooth so far. It's not been as fast as I want it to be. I'm just waiting on him to update a few things and stuff like that, but we've kind of learned, well, I've learned a lot in the process. Obviously I've got Charlie on this deal. If you don't know, Charlie's the webinar wizard. He's on this deal. He got me this deal. He referred me, and he's like overseeing it as like a growth operator basically, or like a marketing campaign manager. And you can see that he's just given me basically the back end of his systems. And so we have one master doc, which is how he does it. And it's just really like easy for onboarding. So getting a tech stack set up, which obviously if the editor's watching this, you're going to need to blur that bit out or cut this bit out that I've just put through, because that's got personal information on it. But the resources, all the things we need there, then like a full market deep dive that I've gone and conducted, obviously using the help of ChatGPT, but that's really cool. And then now I'm starting to get onto the webinar strategy section, and obviously we added like a bit of a strategy call today, and now I know for next time when I do sign the next client how streamlined my systems need to be and what I need to do next to kind of improve them, because that's only going to get better with time and the more I work on them. So yeah, everything's going well. It's like I feel shit, but everything's going well. I feel drained, I feel tired, and it could just be, again, adapting to this change of momentum and building and trying to focus on that. But who knows? And I guess only time can tell, and just kind of pushing through and doing the work anyway is the only option I've got. And so we're doing that with email, we're doing that with outreach, and we should be golden. Today is day 41. Honestly, I haven't been able to record as much as you think, because I mean, I was kind of watching, like last night again, I said in yesterday's update, I was watching Callum's update, and he says the exact same thing. You just get so in the moment when you're doing all the things that you focus so much on working. But today, really, I took the day to kind of reset and rework and rethink things, because one thing that I've been noticing throughout the challenge is obviously some days I just get hit with this crazy stress, and that leads me to, because I'm always being forced to level up, I'm always hitting new things and new things to do, and there's always something to move towards, and there's always something to do. And I've never had to experience that. Like, obviously I've experienced working long days, but I've never experienced it where you can finish an 8-hour day or 9-hour day of like all work, and you can look back at all that work and you can think, I barely ticked off any of the things that I wanted to do, even though you did. And that has obviously had its toll on me, because you want to be working all the time, but there's days where you get burnt out. And I think these past 2 days, 2 or 3 days, I hit that burnout phase. Not burnout in the sense, oh, I just can't work, but I started to do little things to escape it. And I think that can happen when you kind of, you go from 0 to 100 like I have, like with the challenge and things. That's natural to happen. And so for me, I kind of have been experiencing that last few days, and even though I've been working loads, I've been suffering with just feeling like it's not going well all the time, going on my phone a lot, kind of reverting to bad old habits, and that has obviously slowed me down a lot. And so today I took the day to really refocus, reorganize myself. Obviously, I've got the setter working on the leads, so the outreach sending, which is good. And obviously, that's another thing, right? That's just frustrating me because that's not working. But you have to give it time, and you have to keep pushing, and eventually it'll come good. But obviously, it's frustrating to not see things going the way you want them to do. I mean, he sent about 60 and got 0 opens. Banking a lot on the email, so I've been working on the email again today, and I've also been just doing a lot of back-end stuff for the first client that we got. So setting up the Go High Level, setting up the Zapier, planning out the actual webinar, so that's your goal of the webinar and things like that, and all these little tedious tasks. But it was actually an amazing day to kind of just reset and get ready for the week ahead, which I'm glad I did what I did, because now I feel much better for this upcoming week. And so the goal now is, it is quite late, it's 8:40. I tend to finish work around 9:30, so that I can get to bed for around 11:30 and sleep. And I've done about 4 hours of work today, but the plan now is to really just get everything systemized so that I can focus on delivering the best results possible. And I did not think I would have setters and lead sources and team members 40 days into the challenge. I mean, you have to remember, I didn't have a business. Well, I was trying to make a business, right? In other areas, I had a business name, but I didn't have a clear service with my skill, with a clear kind of thing with a client 41 days ago. And now I have 2 team members. I have an offer and a client. 40 days is the difference. From the start of July to midway through August, that is what has changed. And that's obviously a crazy adaptation. You have to change fast. I know it's just kind of like the same kind of rant, but yeah, so what I'm doing now is getting ready for that to make sure I've got all those systems in place. The outreach we're working on, Alex Amosi has just launched his book funnel, and he made like hundreds of millions of it, and I want to leverage that in my outreach. And in fact, I'll give you a bit of the source. So what I am actually planning in terms of this email is, I'm still working on this, and I've been working on these scripts for absolutely ages. I don't know if you can actually see them. Yes, you can. And so what we've been working on is a few different versions of this level of email, right? Because you need to be standing out. And so I need a system that can work and look like I have personalized it without me actually doing anything. And so you can see like name, program name. If I'm being blunt, you're the reason program name isn't as big as it should be, not because the offer isn't strong or the content isn't good, but because you don't have a way to take what's already working and sell it at scale. And so one thing that, like, I made this first webinar where I basically asked for permission, not webinar, email script, should I say. And now I'm focusing on having this one where I literally say Alex Amosi made $1 million with one live event, and Callum Carver also generated it. But this is a really good method for that, is that I didn't do any of those things, but I'm authority hacking. So I don't have any case studies, but once this is like kind of finalized with a few scripts, we can make the follow-ups, which will take me no time. Put them into the instantly, send them out, and I've already got like my first 200 leads to test on. So we should be looking at like another few appointments being booked. I mean, this second account on Instagram, I'm trying to get 2 accounts, isn't working. But when we have that, I can have 60 messages a day going out on Instagram. And that's the permission-based videos that I need to re-record a evergreen one for my setter for. And then 60 emails a day 80 emails a day, because I get 80 new leads going out, and we'll sprinkle that out. We'll start with 50 a day. I already have like the 8 domains. Other than that, that allows me to focus on two things: content and service delivery. With the beauty of webinars is that it's such a quick service to deliver on. So we're running it in 14 days. So 2 weeks from today is the first webinar. That obviously allows me to go ham on the service delivery. But also, by the time that webinar's done and we've generated Haroon, the client, results, it will be something like day 60. It'll be day 60, right? Or day 55 it'll be. So that's still 35 more days of the challenge left, if I'm right on the maths there. Yeah, 35 more days of the challenge left. And I'll have those client results, and I will have 35 days to go and get out another, I think, £2,500, £3,000. At 30 days to go, ham on the outreach. The difference is I'll have more capital, and I will have a case study. And the outreach just goes up and up and up. And the thing is if we're running a second webinar, we'll be running the second webinar maybe the following month before the challenge ends, because I believe the challenge ends like just around the first week or second week of October. And so we could literally make the 10k with Haroon alone, and then all I have to do is hope that these systems get me clients booked in. I mean, it's gone a little bit dead on the outreach, but you've got to be really consistent with the system before you judge them. So like, I'm going to have my setter send out 300 videos, and then I'll judge whether the systems work, right? Whether it's right to have videos. But you shouldn't judge your outreach system until you've got the data. And that is the importance of having a lead sourcer. If you are in an industry that doesn't need leads, like specific leads like I do, that's all good. Just get lead lists. You don't even have to worry about leads. But if you're in an industry like I do, like coaches, agency owners, where you want to kind of hyper-personalize it a bit more, it's so good to just get a lead sourcer, man. It's so good. You need to be finding ways to kind of like look at each bottleneck and each part of the business and identify exactly where you're going wrong and exactly where you can fix things. But yeah, that is a long rant for today. Mainly because I've had a lot of key takeaways these past few days, and I'm battling that burnout so that I can now go ahead. I've done a full dopamine detox reset today, and I can hopefully go ahead and fix things up, get ready for next week, deliver this, and then focus on content. And from zero to having a full automated outreach system in 41 days is absolutely insane. It shows you what's possible if you move quick. And the only reason I'm moving so quick, and I'm not moving nearly as quick as I want to, which is a problem, but the only reason I'm moving so quick is because I try, and I've got someone on my ass to make me move quick. I focus on moving quick, and I've got someone making me move quick. So you need to, this made me realise this whole time, if I just acted in business like I had someone like this on my ass every single day, telling me what to do, telling me things need to be delivered, like, you know, lecturing me on certain aspects of business, I would have made so much more progress. So get someone like that, join a program, invest something where you're forced to do the work and it's no longer a choice of, I feel like it, because procrastination is easy. But if you can kind of just hedge your, like, have stakes, almost like stakes to it, then life becomes a lot easier, I can tell you that. So that's the update for today. Let's smash it next week. Service delivery, content, going to be a fun one. Alright boys, I haven't made an update in 2 days because I've literally just been doing service delivery. That is it. I got this mic, I've just recorded a piece of content as well. This is actually quite a handy way to do it. I've put the Rode mic on the end of a stand. So yeah, been just doing service delivery, that is literally it. And the biggest problem that I'm facing is not work, it's not anything like that. It's just a bit of frustration because you have to learn to balance so much service delivery and everything, like still doing outreach, and we're still not set up on the email outreach. We're 43 days in actually, sorry. Still not set up on that, so it is quite frustrating. But yeah, we are making good progress nonetheless, and it just gets to the point where the same day is the same, every day is the same day. It's service delivery, outreach, content, and I've just made a piece of content, and I'm planning on also making a YouTube piece of content. I'm trying to take advantage of the Homozy just run a webinar funnel kind of trend. So I'm trying to get as much out of that as possible and maybe make a YouTube video around it, because I am realizing that this Mario board content I'm making is good. If we check the stats, I don't think my videos go below 1,000 views now, even if I post like a video I'm not too happy with. Okay, the last one's on 976. I imagine it will reach 1,000, but other than that, every video is hitting like 1,000 to 2,000, which is a really good place to be in. But it's just not personal enough, and I need to either show my personality more or make more YouTube videos to try and build that relationship up a little bit more. But yeah, we're getting there, we're getting places, we're testing different tactics. We're not really seeing many results with outreach at the moment, but we're going to keep trying and change a few things up and see if that works. But yeah, it's frustrating at the moment. Just one of those middle in between periods where you'd be frustrated about things, and then I was like this last week, and then suddenly something comes good. So you just have to really just keep working and not stay emotional. Sorry, not be emotional, should I say? But that's really everything. Gonna get out a piece of content, and that's it today. All right, boys, it's promotion launch day for the webinar, so that's all I'm focusing on today. Yesterday, I didn't do an update, but I got my email outreach finally set up. So I've been going through all the scripts for days on the daily updates, but I actually got them set up. And then also, I got a few responses because I've been working on the outreach of my setter. Got a few like positive replies, so that's a good sign to see. And then today is promotion launch day. So all I've been doing is working on that. All I've been doing is working on promotion launch, the website, the funnel, getting loads of stuff from the client. Obviously, if you master kind of the promotion launch, you have a good thing that retargets the existing list, you have a good thing that retargets the new list, then, you know, it's going to be a good one. So yeah, so that's all I'm really doing. I'm sat doing service delivery, I'm writing fucking emails, I'm writing SMS, texts, writing more copy on the website to make it good. I've just finished writing the full VSL kind of style thing, and I've got that done. And I've all been doing it sat with about already 150 milligrams of caffeine. Let's get that number up because today's gonna need it. Sat in the kitchen with this little thing here. Not introduce you. Let me introduce you to the Skill to Profit vlog. Say what's up. It's my dog. But yeah, side note, we're getting this shit done. It's gonna be a killer day. Then after we've got this done, I can get back on the normal grind of content and outreach. I'm planning to do some more YouTube videos, some more short form, and just really grind out, because right now, yeah, I'm getting little hints of doubt because I'm moving away from content and outreach, and I'm learning service delivery. So I'm going to get those little hints of doubt, and so I've decided the only way I can overcome them is not listening to any of those voices. Anytime I feel a little bit of doubt, I'm just going to do something about it. And so my focus now entirely is on what if I succeed, not what if I don't succeed. And so the plan is starting tomorrow, every time something comes like a thought like that comes up in my head, do more content, do more YouTube, do more of it. And it helps that the videos are doing well on Instagram, but I want real success with the content, and I want to make it a real thing. I want to keep innovating and keep improving and keep going through everything and seeing what I can do better. And that is the success mindset that I'm trying to adopt, and just completely avoid all doubt, and also have a bunch of fun while I'm doing in the process. Yesterday I posted on my story, I've even put my setter is my best friend. I'm going to the cafe now with him to write some copy while he does some work for me. This week I'm going to be meeting up with all the boys in Manchester, which is where I live anyway. Maybe I had an unfair location advantage for the challenge. You know, maybe ask Callum on that one, not me. But yeah, everything's going good. And even though some things don't go great for me, I'm still handling them really well. And so I'm excited to see where the next few days take us. Obviously, this could flop, this Webby promo launch. It could absolutely flop, or it could go really, really well. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. All right, boys, right, this is a bit of a different one. We've kind of gone on a weird setting on the bed. I've just got back from the Skill to Profit event, the Skill to Profit networking event, right? And this event is one where a bunch of entrepreneurs from across the world get together. Not from across the world, really, mostly the UK, but there was a fucking 16-year-old kid that flew in from Sweden, people that come from Wales, people that come from Newcastle, people that come from London, and we all got together in Manchester, about 30 of us, all inside of the inner circle. Obviously, I'm not part of the inner circle, but I'm part of the Speedrun challenge, so I was fortunate enough to be invited along. We all met up, and first of all, obviously, I'm like I say, I'm not in the thing, and this is going to seem like a bit of a plug almost for Callum's group. But if you are sat here, you're watching this, and you are looking to finally take that leap, because 1 year ago today, I nearly joined Skill to Profit, or not today, might be in a couple of days, and I'm so kind of, obviously it's worked out for me now, but I'm also very sad that I didn't take that jump and that leap of faith in myself and invest in myself. It's not a life-changing amount of money. The money will come back if you get the skills that you need. So there's the plug over. The community is insane. Like, I've met so many people that are like-minded, young entrepreneurs grinded from all around the country, really, and all around Europe. And that is an amazing feeling to be around that community of people that actually genuinely just want to see each other win. Like, I went and there was not. I've been in groups, and I've been in groups where everyone cares about themselves. I've been in groups where, you know, nobody really wants to see you to win. Or see you win, should I say. And I went into that group, and Zach, the success manager, talking to me about winning, and he's so happy to hear that I've won. Every single member came up to me and said, "Oh, I heard you got your first client. That's amazing. Can we talk about it?" And we spoke to, you know, all these different people, and it was actually insane to get that opportunity. And yeah, like I say, like, shameless plug to the Skill to Profit, the Circle in Circle. Please, if you are looking to take that jump, do it with Callum's program, because it will change your life. And Callum hasn't paid me to say that. This is all from me going there myself. Take that jump. It will change your life. And so obviously I've got back from that. So I haven't done much work over, I think it's like day 48-ish. I haven't done much work over the past few days. So there's not really much to update on, because kind of Friday, I just posted a short form content. Saturday, I responded to some outreaches, but nothing really got anywhere. And then today I've been at the Skill to Profit event. And also we went out afterwards. So editor, you can play some clips of the Skill to Profit event now, I guess, and show what it was like. So we did events, we spoke, I did an interview, a few glasses of Prosecco too many, but it overall was an amazing event, and really just gave me, I was losing that drive the past few days. I was losing that energy, that pure motivation that I had that was fueling me for the first 40 days of this challenge. I was losing it, to be honest. Not for any particular reason, right? I think it's okay to sometimes feel like that. And I'm very open on the speedrun about the challenges that I've been through, and the feeling of doubt and feeling scared and feeling worried. I've just been so honest about that. But this has given me new life. And that is the power of being around like-minded people. I spoke to Charlie, the webinar wizard. You guys would have heard me mention him. To meet him in real person, for example, or real life, that was amazing. To meet Callum, right? I went out with Callum beforehand, spoke to him. I spoke to the outreach coach, Ollie. I spoke to Zach, the customer success manager. Everyone inside of that group just all cares about you. Callum's going around every single person, asking how they are, genuinely cares. And Skill to Profit is his first program. He's got Profit to Scale. And he's got so many students to think about, yet he literally only focuses, like, he knows everything about everybody, is what I'm trying to say. Like, he goes up to each person, he's like, "Have you done this yet? We were talking about this and this." Like, it's like a tight-knit community of people that actually genuinely want each other to succeed. And that was an amazing feeling. And across my journey, I've never felt like that, especially with people being my age, and you know, a bunch of them that maybe hadn't met before, all went out for steak afterwards. We went to play games afterwards. Obviously, an amazing experience, and especially to get to meet the people that have been supporting me on my journey, right? Callum, I speak to him every fucking morning. All we talk about is business. So to be able to go out and just chat about anything, about life, about where I want to live, about my goals, about fucking buildings, whatever. We were in like a tall building, we were talking about that. All these different things is absolutely amazing to be around. To speak to Charlie, the guy that got me my first client, that helped me out, that has been there every single day for the past couple of weeks to guide me through this. Like, to see him and to experience meeting him, and to just, yeah, this has become some long rant, but I wanted to make it because I want to give credit to the guy that Callum is, and the person that he is, because he's truly changing a lot of lives. And so I want to make sure that through the documentary, I do highlight how fucking brilliant that man is, and how much I owe him and appreciate him. But other than that, I just literally this week, I'm going to go fucking grinding on, pardon my language, grinding on the webinar for the client. I also have just checked my phone and I'm going to respond to them now. I'm going to do it now, not tomorrow. Now, 4 messages back to outreach, 4 in one night, which just shows you that I was like, I was getting nothing and then bang, 4 in one night. I'm going to go and respond to them now, get those done. Super exciting. Hopefully we can get 1 or 2 of them booked on, because 1 or 2 of them and you're looking at another client and we're looking at the speed run getting closer, which is just exciting. It's really exciting. And this particular thing has taught me the importance of just that positivity, relentless positivity. There's a guy in the inner circle, and I might forget his name. I believe his name was Durham. We spoke briefly, but he won an award today at the Skill to Profit event. And that award was, it wasn't for the most consistent, it was for the biggest comeback, I believe. And maybe getting names wrong, there's a lot of names to remember, when you're meeting 30 people. But this guy, anyway, super nice, super supportive. And he's been great. He joined the inner circle months ago. I don't know if it was a year ago, ages ago. And he was struggling and struggling and struggling. And then he got his first client recently. But he didn't give up for over a year. He didn't give up. He did not give up. He kept going. He kept pushing through. And he stood up there, and instead of saying anything about himself, he said, I just want to see everyone else in this group win. He didn't say, yeah, it feels so good to have my first client. He didn't say, yeah, it feels so good to be making money, or whatever he did, right? He stood up there and he said, I just want to see everyone else win. And that comes down to just having that relentless positivity. And that is what this is teaching me. Just positivity all the time. So there is my my daily rant over. We're looking at, I think we can definitely now, again, positivity, I think we can get that next client soon. It's going to be soon, I know it is. And also, a quick note. I do apologise, Callum. I've stolen his deck of cards, so you won't be getting them back until I get my 10k. Alright boys, it's the day after the Skill to Profit event. I did an outreach this morning and booked in an appointment the same fucking day. The same day. We've got an appointment booked on the same day, which is actually insane. That was all from outreach, so it proves it works. So, I mean, I'm just super excited to get on this one now. I did not expect to be booking a call today, but we have done. So, let's go. Let's see if we can close this guy. Okay, so I've just got off the call. We didn't close him, but we managed to get a follow-up call booked in for Friday. So he was running like an AI automation offer again. And it was just such an odd sales call. It was a really weird sales call overall. But we managed to get a follow-up call booked in. So hopefully that's one that goes well. Basically, he wants me to basically set up the whole entire info system for him. So it's more of a growth operating client than a webinar client. So hopefully we can sign in, because he'd be a fucking very, very good client. So I'm not too disheartened with that, and also we're getting like really good responses at the moment. A lot of people are responding to the outreach, which again, another really good sign. So it's like, it's easy to be bummed out by like not closing it when you think, oh, I might make like £2,000, £3,000. But I think it's just important to not be attached to that outcome and just be like, yeah, it's what it is. I'll sign another client. There's more outreach coming. There's more time to make it work. Okay, so it's been 2 days since the last update, and basically what happened was I had the call, obviously, like I said. We didn't close him, but we got booked in for a follow-up call. And so this week, really, I've just been working on writing the actual webinar and getting that done, getting that service delivery finished. And today, the plan is obviously keep making short-form content, but I want to focus on creating a bit of a better system for outreach. And so obviously right now we've got the DMs running, but I want to try and push my setter to do 50 a day instead of 30 a day. And these are these like videos that then pitch them, and I'm going to rebuild that whole entire system so that we can try and get more appointments booked more often. Because I feel like when you're booking sales calls, if you can book 2 a week, or if you can book a call and then you know you've got another call coming like a few days later, it makes you feel so much better on the actual sales call, because you know you've got another opportunity later in the week. So I want to be booking at least 2 to 3 a week, so that I can have that feeling. Like 2 a week would be amazing, because if I can close 1 every 2 weeks, that's obviously £5 grand a month 5,000 a month, which would be amazing. So that's the plan, is rework the outreach system today, keep working on service delivery, writing the actual webinar for this client, and then also making content. We're about 2 days out from the webinar. We're going to do a run through tomorrow, but all I've been doing for the past few days is quite literally writing, building the presentation, and that is it. Like, I've been sat down just doing the actual service delivery. I haven't really had time to do any content. And in fact, tonight I have the third follow-up call with the first AI agency guy that I was telling you about, called Marco. We had one, then we had a second, then we had a third to kind of chat about kind of growth operating and maybe like a better idea than just one single thing. So we got that booked in, and yeah, I just remember the third or second. I can't quite remember. I'm a bit lost, to be honest, because I've literally just been sat here every single day grinding 11 hours a day, working on the webinar, working on the presentation, working on the script, working on the emails. But I wake up at 9 and I just don't stop working. And so I'm just going to be doing that every single day until the webinars ran on Sunday night. So I'll do an update around that, but I'm just so in the thick of actually doing it. It's very hard to remember to do these updates, to be honest, but it's going really well, and I'm confident we can actually print with the webinar. Okay, so I've basically just been sat in my bedroom all day, 9 till 6:15, working on the webinar. I haven't done anything other than that, and no content, no nothing recently other than the service delivery, because the webinar's tomorrow night, and they'll probably be the same tomorrow. And then hopefully after that I can get back on content, outreach, and focus on getting new clients instead of focusing on serving the current client. But other than that, there's no real new updates to go through. Had the call last night, which was all right, we didn't close, and we've got the follow-up call booked on Monday. So got the webinar tomorrow night, follow-up call booked on Monday, and then hopefully I can just keep it rolling. All right, so right now we're just about to do the first live run of the webinar. As you can see, things are going really well, and we're about to just basically just do like a first practice run, and then once we've done that, we can go from there. Okay, so it's day of webinar launch, and as you can see, we've got the full webinar up and ready to go, and we've been testing it and just sorting out all of the automations. As you can see here, everything's ready. Ran into a few different roadblocks, but actually do have the webinar launched and ready to go, and it's launching in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, I'll be running my first ever webinar ever. And hopefully it goes well, and then if we can, we'll be about halfway through the speed run. So looking forward to it, and then I'll obviously do like a little update after the webinar just to see how it's going. But most important thing is that I actually do feel like a business owner now. Like, I actually feel like somebody that just is a business owner. There's somebody that actually does business, that is delivering on things, is working hard on helping clients and all this, and it's been obviously an amazing learning experience as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, and hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong, touch wood, and we come back with at least 3-4k cash collected. It's this day after the webinar, and I was just so in the moment that I forgot to really record much of it, but we did get the full thing out. It went really, really well. But weirdly, we only booked 6 calls off the back of it. And usually you'd expect about like 20, 30. But we've now, in the past day, just been sat, me and my setter, on the phone all day, ringing, dialing, messaging, etc. And we've managed to get that call number up to over 35. And Harron has already closed like a good 5-6 people on paid in fulls for 2k. So we're already on track for like a 20-30k webinar for a client with 16k followers, and gets like maybe 2,000-4,000 views a video, which is on TikTok as well. So he's done an absolutely amazing job to get that kind of traffic. We had 600 sign-ups, 300 show up, so like over more actually showed up, and we had 160 people click on the type form and apply. 160 people, that is unforeseen in the space, which is actually insane. So it went really well. We just basically had to do a lot more work on the setting side of things, but we've done that. It's all done. We've booked in the calls, and man, it's just going so well.
I think it's 35-ish. Maybe a little bit more.
Let me put in what we're at now. Yeah, we're at 32,000 USD now, and yeah, it's 40,000 USD, 30,000 pounds, 40,000 USD.
Right, so that's a sick case study as well.
That's amazing. I've already been messaging everyone that's seen my outreach in the last like week, who's seen anything, anyone on follow-ups. This case study is there already. I booked over 45 calls on an offer that usually books 5 to 10 calls.
Yeah.
And we're on track to do 40k USD. So they usually does 10k USD. So I've been already leveraging it. And I sent it to that Ralph guy as well. I sent a screenshot of the Calmly. You know, he said you don't have the screenshots yet.
Yeah.
I sent him the screenshot of the Calmly booked events, and
It's so sick, bro. I mean, yeah, the case study you're going to get out of pulling 40k out of your first Webby is going to be huge. I mean, bro, even the first Webby Charlie ever did, which was with me, we pulled like, I think it was 13k, and that was a low ticket offer. And bear in mind, there was so much shit wrong with that webinar. It was all over the place. So the fact that you're able to pull that is mental. And bear in mind, it should give you the proof of concept that it's only up from there. You're only going to learn more, have more techniques, have more ways to kind of pull more cash from the audience. So yeah, bro, you should be more than proud of yourself, because I think you've absolutely smashed it. And Charlie was messaging me as well. He was saying bless Marcus. He's like, he hasn't slept in like days trying to get all this ready, because I know the day before you had to piece together like a bunch of shit. I know you had a big run up to the actual the Webby, right?
it was tough. He's been asking me to do a bunch of shit, Shit was breaking, like I've had to rebuild automations. I was stressed, but honestly, looking back on it, it's the most fun I've had since building fucking houses in Minecraft 10 years ago. It's genuinely the most fun I've had. Sat there on calls with Ben and Charlie all day, with watching it come through, watching the money come through. I love it. I want to do it again. Obviously, I probably need to take today off, the rest of today off, and just reset and get ready to get back to normal states tomorrow.
100%.
My God, did I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, no, it's sick, bro. It's really, really cool. So, and you're halfway through the speedrun as well at this point, right?
Yeah, so if we do 30k, I actually don't know whether we agreed on profit or revenue share, which is something I'll go back through the call and look. Because I think he thinks we're on revenue. But obviously we need to get Ben paid, and we can, we're going on a call tonight to kind of discuss cash collected, how I want to do all the payments and shit. And if we can do like 30k within the next week, that's always 10% to me, 3-ish K pounds, plus the 1.5 that he still owes me from the setup, 4.5, plus the 1 from the original, 5.5. That's 5.5.
It's about 7k USD. What is it?
7.3 USD. So only 2.7. 2.7 off the end. Which, to be honest, his next webinar is at the end of the month.
He's doing another one.
We're doing another. He wants another one.
Amazing, bro.
And Charlie set me up to Grove Operate from as well, so hopefully I can get that. We could genuinely do the full 10k.
Yeah, that's so sick. So sick. So at the moment, confirmed cash, you've just surpassed the 5k mark, right?
Yeah, it's if I put in actually confirmed as of based on what he's collecting right now, so 24, 2.4, 3.2. If I just slap in, that's taking me to 3.9, so that's taking me to 4.9, so that'll take me to 6.5 USD right now.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
And how many days are in a week? What, 55?
58 is day 58 today.
Yeah.
55, 50. No, it's day 57. I've got all of these days wrong. It's day 57.
Bro, mental. Pulling 6.3k out of thin air, 56 days in, 57 days in, starting a new business is a pretty cool achievement.
Day 59 today. Basically the same as yesterday. All I've been doing is following up with the people, helping my setter, stuff like that. And we've managed so far to book over 50 sales calls. 50 sales calls booked. And and do like 26k so far. It's like $32k dollars, which is, my God. I mean, if you've watched so far, you'll know where I started out. And to be able to pull 26k and potentially more, right? We might even hit 35k, 40k is actually insane. It's insane. And we're still going through just the same thing every single day. Apart from today, I want to try and get back on track with content. and make like a full plan, utilize and milk the shit out of this case study and get some more fucking clients, because that's what we're here for, right? So I'll just keep updating, but again, it's gonna be the same thing now. Back to content, back to kind of outreach again as well. Leveraging this case study, I'll make some updates on that. But then for the remaining 40 days of the challenge, I believe, or 30 days now of the challenge, it'll just be leveraging the case study and things like that, and using the money that I've got, and basically using that to scale and keep pushing. So yeah, it's going really well recently. Okay, so day 64 of the challenge. I haven't made an update in a while because there's really nothing to update on. We've been doing pretty much nothing since we delivered the result for the client, other than working on YouTube videos, working on content, and that's it. Like, I've just made and recorded a YouTube video, a new outreach video that's getting sent by my setter, and also a short form video. And that is pretty much it, and that's all I'm doing at the moment. I did have a few conversations with a few different people that I could have taken on for the challenge, or couldn't take it on to even complete the Skilled to Profit challenge in like 70-ish days or less than 70 days, but I chose not to because they just didn't feel like a right fit for my offer. So I'm going to be a bit more patient. I'm going to keep waiting, and hopefully we can close that next client soon. It's a day since I last filmed an update, and firstly what I've got ahead and done is release my first YouTube video. Now, before the speedrun, I was already making like funnel breakdowns, and I already had a pretty decent idea of YouTube, which definitely helped me with this. But I've just put out my first video now, which is like 32,000 cash collected in 70 hours with a webinar. So I'm hoping that's something that gives me like a very nice, kind of, if it'll focus, a very nice thing to leverage. And in terms of the actual thumbnail, you can see it there in the title. Pretty decent looking thumbnail in terms of the niche that I'm going for. And I'm just trying to basically leverage the case study in as many possible ways as I can. So obviously we've got the YouTube videos, we've got the Instagram videos coming out. I'm looking at maybe doing like Instagram profile visit ads on my case study video. And then also I've just made my new Instantly campaign. So I ran my first campaign, as you can see here, and we got 500 total emails sent. I think it's about 200 fresh leads, fully completed. And this was authority hacking Alex Hamosi, and we can see we only got 7% reply rate, which isn't awful, and 2 responses. We got a lot of fuck offs basically, and that tells me everything I need to know. And also I've taken like the main ideas from this one and put them into the new one, but the Hamosi one also had kind of expired now, right? Because it's been like over 2 weeks into Mosi's big thing. And so I've just started this one. This time it said you got 150 leads to start with at 50 a day, and I'm going to add another 150 leads after that initial period to see if it's going well. And you can see here, this time I'm going to track open rate, and like here's like the first email I'm going to try. So this is something, oh actually no, it's not this one. This is something I'm going to completely try, not really based on the recommendations. I'm kind of just doing this on my own ideas, because I don't know, I just wanted to test this out really. And we're going to do 5 follow-up emails, which isn't recommended by Ollie, the outreach coach, or Callum at all, but you know what, I just want to try it out, see what will happen. And yes, this is kind of the idea we're going with for the email. Quick one, do you know how much your current audience could be making if you clean up the pipeline and converted skeptical prospects? In fact, that could even be changed to just converted skeptical prospects. And then basically, right, what we're going to test in this is I'm going to give them a free revenue predictor tool that I made the other day, and then they can plug the numbers in, see if webinar would even make sense for their offer. Then I put in the PS, if you do enjoy it, I'll send you the video over. Then the next day, again, same thing. I say like, did you check out the free revenue predictor? And then send them the video. And then here I authority hack Callum Carver. I'm like, you know, this is a friend of mine, Callum. Then this one is just talking again about my case study with Harron from the Inner Circle. And then this final one is talking about Callum again, saying that I partnered with P&E Agency because I've been working with Charlie anyway, who runs Callum's webinars. So that's the system I'm trying to use, using case studies and just basically giving them a load of free stuff, free videos, free revenue predictor, etc. And then they can come back to me if they'd like it. So I'm trying to leverage that case study throughout. You know, like I posted a video today exactly with this case study, and I've been done dirty in this photo, so ignore my fucking terrible mugshot. But you can see there, if it focuses, webinars made me 32k. in less than 3 days, and I'm just leveraging the shit out of that. Now tomorrow I get paid by Harron, so I'm going to reinvest that into ads. I'm going to look at hiring. I'm looking at hiring a thumbnail designer. In fact, I maybe even show you the thumbnail designer, because I want to have like a big push on YouTube towards the end of the challenge. And if we look at some of this guy's thumbnails, I mean, they're bloody beautiful. You know, look at them, sexy. Thumbnail designing is like a really good niche. Like, but I'm looking for like a creative strategist. So, is anyone watching out here? There's like a YouTube creative strategist. He's a thumbnail designer, anything like that. I am looking for somebody like that. I really do like the idea of somebody who does like thumbnails, titles, and then ideates. So they don't really script. Maybe they script the intro. They don't really edit, but they just basically like strategize. They understand their niche very well, and they make things that work for it. So that's a side note. But yeah, leveraging as much things as we can. We've got about 25-ish days left on the challenge to make about $3,000. And obviously I'm very confident we can do it. Just need to keep pushing out as much YouTube videos, as much content as possible, while I've got all my outreach automated in the back end. Alright boys, I don't know if you can see this, wait, it's pretty dark in here, but I've just been paid the second lot off the back of the first webinar, and 4,151 is in the account, which means that we're now up to nearly £5,500, which is about $7,500, $8,000, so we're only about $2,500-ish, $2,000 off. And all I've been doing the past few days, like I keep updating on, making YouTube content. I finally got a video out there, making Instagram reels, and just tweaking my outreach, trying to get it going, because it's not working at the moment. But update, we have a sales call booked tomorrow. Inbound lead, they've seen my results, and they want to get a webinar done. So hopefully we can maybe end the challenge tomorrow. You know, that'd be pretty cool to see. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. But it's just like a little nice update to get paid. And you know, this month we've done like £5,000-ish. If we can close another client, I would have made like £8,000 in 1 month, which, yeah, me 65 days ago or something would have been ecstatic to see that. Okay, so it's the start of day 69. Yesterday we had 2 big updates, right? First of all, I had the sales call with the second guy that I was speaking about yesterday. And on this sales call, I basically mapped out a bit of a strategy, and we've got a follow-up call on Monday, which I'm pretty sure that I'm ready to close, ready to go forward, and that'll be a 3K, and that will be complete in the challenge. So pretty insane. And then we've also got, I went on a call with my current client, Harron, to kind of just discuss how things were going, and we made a strategy for going forward. And I've upsold him one, just like about $1.5K, 1K pounds, to build out his VSL call funnels. Like, we have the webinar funnel and the call funnel, so I'm going to be doing that as well, which is a fair price. You know, I'd usually charge like 2-3K for something like that, but I want obviously him to have something in the back end, because he doesn't have that, because his growth operators are shit, or worse shit. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. You know, we just had both of those calls yesterday. Things have been moving a bit slowly. I definitely think after the webinar, I'm still recovering from that. I've only been working at about 4-5 hours a day for the past, I'd say, 10 days. I just haven't really had a proper break, so I do really need to kind of reset and figure out what it is exactly that's causing me to be like that. But I am, you know, I'm getting good progress still. Things are still ticking. Outreach really isn't going well, if I'm going to be totally honest, on the Instagram side of things. Starting to get a few good responses on the Instantly. And I mean, I lie, we do have some good people in the pipeline, but it's just so hard to get the right leads, right? The big bottleneck at the moment is the leads. And, you know, the Instantly's doing all right. It's getting like a good few responses. And I do have another call booked tonight as well. That call came from a guy that I've been speaking to for a while that I outreach to. So the outreach it's definitely working. It's just it's a hard niche to crack. So I'm constantly iterating, and the leads haven't been the greatest. So I have had to get on the back of my lead source for a little bit. But yeah, things are going well, and hopefully we can kind of wrap up towards the end. You know, just work as much as possible, make as much content as possible, outsource as much. You know, I'm looking at getting a thumbnail designer, obviously, because I've started to like push out YouTube a little bit more, push out Instagram as well. And just try and just double down on content. I've got a new mic coming today. Try and keep the setup looking nice, and just keep pushing and improving and getting better and systemizing things. So I'm looking at like just how I can do that more and more. So yeah, things are going decent though. Alright, so I ended up having that second sales call today, or just the sales call today, which is a guy that I've been speaking to a while through outreach, and basically the same thing kind of came into fruition again. He wanted a challenge funnel but it wasn't really for me because he didn't want to pay on a setup fee, which is absolutely fine. Just you win some, you lose some. I tried objecting on that, but you know, he just was adamant that he didn't want to pay me a setup fee because it was for a SaaS, not an info offer. So yeah, that was obviously unfortunate. Move on to the next one, and hopefully, you know, the next one can be a bit better. Obviously got that follow-up call booked in for Monday. So hopefully we can close that, and yeah, just leading up to that really, just preparing as much as I can, building out content systems, about to record a video, got myself a beautiful new mic, pretty sure it's the same one that Callum has, and I'm just going to be working on just doing everything I can to sign that final client, right? So the outreach is still ticking in the background, we've got the DMs going every single day, got the instantly sending out the emails every single day, I'm responding to replies, emails. I've got a lot of stuff just like, the problem with outreach, right? I've got so much in the pipeline, but nothing seems to be getting over the line. There's so much opportunity that isn't quite being pushed into a call, and if it is, you know, we've booked probably about 5 calls in the past like 3 or 4 weeks. If it is, it's getting kind of, it's like maybe not the right situation, or maybe I've made mistakes on the sales calls or things like that. So I'm just really trying to push that final thing. Obviously, I've got the call on Monday, which if I do close will be the end of the speedrun, but I'm not too much pressure on that because I know that I can generate a call whenever I want. Now that I know that the outreach systems are dialed in, the leads are coming in, and we are starting to pick back up again with things, and hopefully get our next client signed soon. I'm just going to record a video now, and yeah, just trying to test out this system a little bit, new mic, and keep trying different things with the content, and hopefully something sticks. Okay, so today I'm doing things a little bit differently basically. I've done a little bit of work this morning. Obviously yesterday we had that sales call, so I think it's very important that, you know, I take a little bit of time to kind of reflect over everything and reset. So today I'm gonna go out, gonna go hiking in the Peak District, come back, and then hopefully I'm refreshed for tomorrow's sales call, which could close and end off the end off the challenge. So I'm really excited for that. Get reset, get ready. Tonight I'm gonna make the strategy, make the plan for the week, and you know, I kind of know exactly what I want to do this week. I'm hiring a few people as well for YouTube, so even if we don't close this person, I can start pushing out YouTube even more, and yeah, and then just keep going, you know, keep going, and hope that tomorrow's close is the end of the speedrun. But if not, you know, still got plenty of opportunity to sign more clients, still got 30 more days to do it as well, so I'll be more than happy to kind of get it going. Yeah, I'm just sat down here, a bit of an unusual place, gotta show off the new mic, but I'm sat down here because in about 12 minutes I've got a call with Callum to prepare for a call that I've got at 10, which is a sales call, right? I'm going to be pitching him on a $3,000 setup. We've already had one call, so it's more of a follow-up call, and if I obviously do close him, I complete the speed run. Now, expectations wise, I could be making another one talking about how I've completed it, made 10k, whatever, or I could be coming back and saying I'm disappointed. But either way, it shouldn't be like any expectations, if you get me. I need to try and remove that, and that's what I'm trying to do, where it's just zero expectations, zero worry, just like what'll be will be. I can get another, you know, call, I've got my outreach running, I've got my content running out, I can book another call, I can sign another client. No need to stress, but obviously would be amazing to sign the client. So that's how I've been kind of coming into it, like I'm already in a good position, but it would be great to add this client on top. And so the next update will probably be either me preparing for the call, and then probably me closing, or me after the call saying that I've closed or I've not closed, and talking about what I'm going to do next. So exciting stuff. It's day 70, I think, 70, 71, I'm not too sure, which obviously means that if we can complete it, we'll do it 20 days short of the goal of 90 days, which is, again, incredible. But I'm trying to remove expectations, because we know that, okay, every single call that I get on, I can't be like, oh my god, I'm going to complete the speed run, and then if I don't, I get down, you know, butthurt or like upset with myself, right? I've just got to keep going, keep pushing, and keep trying to get that next book call, that next client, and stay rational almost. So yeah, let's see what it's like. You know, I've got a nice little setup. I mean, it's not that nice, but it's a good place for like some calls. Got the new mic to play around with, so that's a positive. Beautiful mic. Thanks Callum for letting me steal his you know, I think it's the same one that he's got. But yeah, let's get it. Hopefully it's a good news afterwards, but like I say, if not, all good.
Hello.
Hello mate, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, how are you feeling?
Feeling good, yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready for the day.
Amazing, bro.
No, I just made a little speedrun update, and I was saying like, you know, as great as it would be to finish and close, suppose if I come in with, you know, too much expectations and too much neediness, then I'm just going to push away. I mean, I'm going to come in thinking, you know, this is easy, whatever, right? So just remove expectations and said, like, if I close it, awesome. If I don't, I'll get another call, I'll close another person, right? As long, you know, if I come in with too much neediness, I'm just going to show that. But I am confident. So, like, you know, I'm not cocky, I'm confident though.
Good man. Have you been working on like a little proposal over the weekend?
Yes, so I've got like the ideas in my head, to be honest. So what I do for like the proposal is so I've got obviously this, where I show them this, and I've already showed him this proposal, and basically what I'm going to do is take I've already showed him everything apart from the price, and I'm going to take everything that I've showed him here, I'll use ChatGPT basically to create him a custom one, and then I know I've got all the ideas in my head, but before the call for like 20 minutes I'm going to whip out a Miro board, because I know exactly what I want to do with him. He's already seen all of this, so I just add in the ideas that I've got, get ChatGPT to make it, you know, look clean, and I've also just been working on my contract to make sure, you know, I've got a decent thing for him to sign. But yeah, so I've not actually, like, I've been ideating, I've been thinking, I've been watching his content, but I've not actually whipped anything up yet, which, you know, it's a little bit late, but I'll get it done beforehand.
Okay, fantastic, cool. But you're feeling confident, you're feeling happy about it all?
Yeah, I'm feeling ready. I've added like some clauses now that protect me a lot. Like, for example, if they want the refunds, they have to do a minimum of 14 short form videos in the time frame, close at 20% plus, and I've got all these things in now to kind of protect me. And then another one is like an optional guarantee, where if they don't make their money back, but they feel like maybe they still liked what they saw, they can exercise this thing where I'll do one more webinar for 7% profit share, as like an apology for doing it. I split my profit share in half for the next webinar and then go back up to normal. But I'm also going to ask him for 20% profit.
Are you?
Yeah.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because so obviously it's going to be 3K and 20%, right? So the reason why I'm thinking behind that, I mean, obviously, if you think any of ideas, I could change it. But I'm thinking, at the end of the day, he's coming to me, seeing his biggest competitor take him over in terms of they're very close to each other and what they do. Seeing what I've done with him, and kind of, I want it to be as incentivized on my end as well as his end, so that it's like, you know, I'm going to push it at 15% profit. To me, didn't feel like enough. Maybe that's on like if I was like working with like someone who's doing like 100K off the back of a webinar, 10% is fine, 5% is fine even. But if it's like, you know, you're making them 20K, I think 15-20% is a bit fairer. Maybe I'm just being a bit greedy. I don't know what you think to that.
I mean, I do get what you're saying about the incentive thing, but it does come down to the result that you can produce, right? Because the bigger the result that you can produce, the more money that you're going to make. So, I mean, 20%. I don't know. Initially, it comes at me as like, okay, that's a bit high. I mean, maybe it gives you room for like a bit of negotiating and a bit of just kind of discussing what he's looking for and what he's happy with. But I do think 20% is a little bit high. I mean, I suppose again it comes down to what you're doing. So I'm assuming the same plan of what you're doing is same as Aaron, right? So you're doing everything around the webinar, pre-call sequences, post-call sequences. What about the actual sales team and stuff like that? Have you spoken with him about it?
Yeah, so I'm going to bring in my setter. He's going to pay my setter the same way Aaron did, but he's going to close the calls. Now, I have closes at the ready in case you want to change that this time. So I didn't have that with Aaron, but I do on that. And also I was thinking of one of the deliverables adding on was, just because it'll drive massive amount of traffic, is just working with him on YouTube, right? So I said like I'd help. I said like it's something I'm helping with Aaron with at the moment. I'm making like I've made him a sheet with ideas and intros and scripts and shit. So
I don't know if that would maybe add that value on, kind of justify a bit higher. It's like, I'm going to kind of push you towards a certain way with content and help you with idea and strategize there.
The only thing I'm thinking, bro, is it obviously 20% to you, 5% to setters, 25, and then 10% to closers. That's 35% that he's losing per sale, which I just feel like is quite hefty. You could do it. So with your setter, how much do you pay him out?
So he gets 4%. He gets 4%, and then if you obviously if you don't have a closer, let's say the setter's paid, I don't know, 500. The software fees are 500, and then obviously I only take profit. I just don't take like revenue 20% up front. So then I take 20% of whatever's left.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, you could do it in a way where you could take 20% of revenue, but that's included in the setter fee. Right, so it's included in the 4%, and you basically say, I'm going to take care of the setters, like that's on me. Normally it would cost you 5%. Obviously, that's included in the percentage. Or I would take like more towards 15% of profit, because I mean, in my head that makes a little bit more sense, just based on the work that you'll be doing. But again, I mean, you could definitely go out the gate and be like, it's going to be 20% for this. But I just think you want to make it a bit more. You want to justify it a little bit more, like as per just the work that you're doing, because 20% is a decent amount. And if he's not stupid, he'll probably do those maths in his head where he'll go 20% here, 5% here, 10% here, software costs, whatever he wants to kind of put that as a percent, and then that then comes across to him like, oh, I'm almost losing 40% of my cost of sale, of my sale price, sorry, which is a pretty hefty amount to eat up. So I think that you could do it as long as you kind of justify it, where you're like, yeah, and we'll take this percent, but we're going to pay for this. I mean, he pays software costs, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm sorted then. Yeah, I'm confident. I'll just go on, show him the strategy, try not to talk too much, be confident, be excited. Like, we're going to print this much. I reckon we'll do this much revenue based on my predictors, and we can do this range. And if we reinvest into ads, we can probably print like this amount on the next one. And it's like, we're going to keep working together every month, and I'll help you grow your socials, blah, blah, blah. I'll just be so excited. And then pitch, right, okay, so the investment, it's going to be £3,000 and a 15% profit share. Shut up, let him think, let him do it. And then if he comes up with any objections, guarantee moving money aside, finding that he actually thinks the value's there, finding the real objection, is it being scared of the last commitment, and then reframing that with plenty of options. I mean, like I reframed it on our last call being like, you've got a partner, right? Well, if your last partner cheated on you, you wouldn't then go and judge your new partner based on your last partner. And he was like, oh, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, okay, I'm ready then.
Fantastic. This call's at 10, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, bro. Cool. I'll let you shoot off. Any questions before, give me a shout. But if not, I haven't got a call until 12, so let me know how it goes after, and we can jump on a call. Fingers crossed everything's good, and then yeah, bro, we'll look forward to hear the good news.
Yeah, let's do it.
Amazing, man. Cool. Have a good morning, and then I'll chat to you soon. Yeah.
All right. See you soon.
Right. So that was a call I just finished off with Marcus. It is currently Monday the 15th. He's got a sales call today with someone, or a follow-up call with someone who had a sales call with last week. And apparently it was an incredibly positive sales call. Now, if he closes it on this call, which he literally has in 10 minutes time, if he closes the deal for the amount he thinks he's going to close it for, that means he officially completes the speed run. He officially makes $10,000. And it's not even, I mean, it would have been 71 days since we started. But the condensed time in which he collected his first penny to his last penny will be around 35 days, I think, which is pretty impressive, because it's like $10,000 within a month. Business has been alive for 71 days. So I'm now just kind of like waiting to hear back from him. Again, he hasn't even jumped on the call yet, but he will do shortly. And then from there, it's just a case of, if he collects the cash, fantastic, he's completed it. If he doesn't, on to the next. There's always going to be more people to close. There's always going to be more prospects. But obviously, I would love for him to close this deal now, because that's a pretty incredible feat.
Fingers crossed all goes well. And then if he does close, or when he does close, which I'm sure he will, I'm then going to get him round my place, and we're going to do a proper kind of interview style thing. Maybe go out for like a steak dinner or something like that. I think that'd be pretty nice, just because of the fact that this guy has been working day in, day out for the past 71 days. So yeah, I suppose I'll update you guys when I have news from him about whether this deal went through or not. Fingers crossed.
Okay, so I just got off the sales call. I had my call with Callum, and the call didn't go exactly how I wanted to go, but we did close it. We closed in the end, and we closed a 1,000 deal now, 2,000 later. Now, obviously, I would never usually do that. I would never usually split that up so much, but I wanted to complete the challenge. I wanted to get it done over and just feel good about it. So 1K now, 2K later, same deal that I ran my first client, except the 2K will be paid well before the end of the speed run, which means that we have completed the speed run. Contracted revenue, right now, we have done over $7,000 since the start of the speed run, and I've still got another contract, £7,000, still got another contracted £2,000 coming in, and another 2 profit shares on 2 more webinars, taking us to well over £12,000 and well over $15,000 generated in 90 days, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, it's not great to not have a full setup fee. It don't feel always the best, but we got it done. It's there. We've got the first payments, and I'm ready to just scale both these guys. I mean, yeah, we've made over £7,500 already, and I've still got like £4,000 coming in at the end of this month, which means, yeah, we're gonna do like $15,000, which is just crazy. I don't sound that excited, but I guess I'm still a little bit pissed off that I didn't get the full setup fee, but fuck yeah, I mean, from nothing to $15,000 in 90 days is insane. And today's day 70, which means we've completed the challenge in 70 days.
All right, Marcus, tell them what you just told me.
So we just signed another client, 1,000 setup fee, 2,000 in 2 weeks, which takes us to $10,000 exactly generated in 71 days. From nothing to $10,000 in literally 70 days, and there's another 2K payment coming in 2 weeks' time.
Insane. 10K this month, and then within the 90 days, you think 15K?
In the 90 days, we'll do 15K. I mean, if you want to keep it running and I'll just keep working in the back end. But we will literally do, like, our roads will get that 2K. This guy will give me another 2K, then whatever we've generated on profit, we'll do like, yeah, 16,000, but 17, 16, 15, I don't know, bro.
Wild, bro. I mean, take a breather, give yourself a massive pat on the back. You've absolutely killed it. Like, yeah. I had full faith, don't get me wrong, I had full faith, but doing it in 71 days is a pretty fucking impressive feat. Really impressive. And like you said, you know, the speed run will have technically finished, but let's see what we can squeeze out of 90 days, because I think that'd be pretty insane as well. Getting to that 15K mark will be, yeah, fucking huge. There he is. Hello.
Is he alive?
Bro, put a fucking top on, man.
What the fuck is this? It's like some extraterrestrial form of communication.
Have you just woken up?
Yeah.
Bro, that's poor. It's Monday morning.
I signed the Roman guy. We closed him. 1K now, 2K on results. He would not budge off it, but that means that I've officially crossed the 7.5K mark, or 10K in 71 days.
10K cash collected for the boy.
Wow. I mean, bro, that's actually a madness, you know, because second time Callum did it in 57, which isn't even that much. That's not even
I know, bro. How wild is that?
Bro, get the fucking... Where's the champagne?
Bro, we want to get your reaction first. I know you would give a proper northern reaction.
No, bro, that's just phenomenal. Like, I actually... Do you know what, bro? I wish I could say I can't believe it, but I can believe it. If I had, like, I actually can believe it. We knew you were going to do it, but 71 days is mental.
It's impressive.
Yeah, bro. I mean, we can keep going as well. Like, we can do another like 5k as well on top at the end of the month. So
Yeah, within 90 days, you'll quite easily pass 15k, I think. Right, ladies and gents, he's only gone and done it. Marcus has officially crossed $10,000. In fact, $10,060 generated in 71 days. Starting the business from scratch. I'm talking nothing existed before. There was no business name, there was no domain, there was no website, there was no offer, there was no service, there was a skill set, but that was literally it. And he's turned that skill set into $10,000 in 71 days. And I cannot stress this enough, how in the nicest way possible ordinary Marcus is. Like, I'm ordinary, most of entrepreneurs are ordinary, but Marcus is ordinary. There was nothing special about him. There was nothing unique about him. I chose him personally because I saw potential in his ambition, in his application video that he sent over. And he's turned his skill set into $10,000 using the skill to profit framework that I've been teaching him, which is wild. Genuinely wild. And I couldn't be more proud of this guy, because he hasn't stopped. He's just kept going. I've just jumped on a call with him and also brought someone into the call called Charlie, who I've been working with now for the past like 2-ish years. And he's been helping Marcus on different bits and bobs. He's actually a coach within the inner circle. That's why he's been such a big part of it, because he's been helping Marcus with a lot of different angles and stuff. And he actually also runs a webinar marketing agency, similar to what Marcus is doing, in like a different kind of angle that they're taking, which is cool. So yeah, man, I'm baffled. Honestly, I'm baffled because I knew this was going to happen. Don't get me wrong. I knew it was inevitable. 71 days, I didn't know it was going to be inevitable in that time frame. I mean, last time I did it in 56 days, and I had the skill sets. I'd done it multiple times over. The time before that, I did it in 37 days. So I took a brand new skill, turned it into $10,000 in 37 days. A year later, did it again, did it in 56 days. I think it's been about 6 months since I last did it. Did it with Marcus just now, and we've done it in 71 days. Which is fucking wild. It's currently Monday, the 15th. On Wednesday, I'm bringing the boys over. They're going to come around mine. We're going to do like a little sit down interview type thing, just like going through his thoughts, his process, get some value from him as well, just on kind of like this takeaways. And not only that, but also we're going to go out for a meal, pop the champagne, celebrate a bit, because bro's been fucking killing it. And I couldn't be more proud of him. This is like no bullshit. You know, there's no way I can possibly fake this. Like, he has the Stripe screenshots. I'll put them on screen right now. He has screenshots of different payments that he got. He's recorded his entire process. He's documented almost every single day, bar like days here and there, of his process. We've got every single call recording that we ever did together. So everything is there. Everything is out on paper. And I think it's just incredible to understand that someone has pulled money out of thin air using a skill set. Skill set here, money here, exchange swap. And that's wild. People don't understand the true value that can come from a skill set, the true potential that can come from a skill set. Once you have the skill set, you understand how to market it, how to frame it, and how to sell it. It's insane what can be produced. And he's done it firsthand. This is just proof of concept. Like, I can't show you anything else. I've done it twice. I helped someone else do it once. What else do you want from me? Your skills are valuable. They are worth a lot of money. You just need to learn how to turn them into a business. Right, ladies and gents, we have the man, the myth, the legend here. Mr. Marcus, introduce yourself.
I'm 19, I'm from Manchester, and I do webinars for high ticket coaches. And exactly 71 days ago, I started with no skill, no business, and now I've made 10k in the last 71 days.
Does it feel real?
No, it doesn't feel real. It hasn't even registered in my brain yet that that's a thing that's happened, that I am that kind of person. But I'm sure it will when those like payments start to come through. But right, it doesn't feel real. It just feels like I'm still dreaming almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane, bro. We've spoken about it a lot over the last couple of calls we've had. It's like the finale of like, okay, we've done this now, and I think it should give you a sign that you've kind of like leveled up now. You're like 10k is like the new, as weird as it sounds, like the standard, the kind of bare minimum that you work from. But no, you've absolutely killed it. I mean, I think something that people are going to want to hear as well after watching however long this like whole documentary is like, why you? Why do you think you were able to do it? Because there's going to be countless people watching this that have been doing the same thing, and they've been trying to make money online, all this kind of stuff. So why do you feel like you, and not about the resources around you, but like internally, what allowed you to stand out, do you think?
Yeah, I think for me it was the willingness to do so much without seeing results. I mean, when I started, I was doing videos, self-improvement videos in my room every day with no kind of results coming through for over a year. I was watching your video on exponential results and how they come up, and I just kept going. And I think that's why eventually, after 2-3 years of doing it every single day, 4 or 5 hours a day, no real breaks, no results, I think you almost get to a point where you've accumulated so many skills, or you've accumulated enough experience, enough time in the game to eventually obviously get the results that you deserve after all of that time spent. So I think it kind of just was the right timing and gave me everything that I needed to finally put all of that time into something that actually worked.
So you think it was inevitable regardless?
I mean, I'd like to think so, yeah. I definitely think it's speed tracked the process. It's allowed me to get there faster, but I think, like you always say on that video, exponential, right? You have to have that time in the game in the beginning. Yeah. That's the thing that definitely got me there, and then those results, when they come, they just keep coming, and then it gets easier once you have that first initial result by far.
100%. And you come from an experience of where you've tried business models before.
Yeah.
Right? So you tried growth operating.
Yeah.
What else? Because I know there's a few others.
Yeah. So I tried YouTube. I tried content agency.
Yeah.
At one point, I was doing marketing for a guy that had a sales agency at the same time as doing a content agency at the same time as trying to run a growth operating agency. So I was doing 3 different business models all at once, and I'd also tried just general copywriting. When I started, I did SMMA in the typical Iman Gadzi way. I did drop shipping as well, so I did literally everything.
And I know that obviously when I chose you for the speedrun, you didn't really have a choice. It was either yes or no. But obviously the whole kind of skill to profit model. What's your take on it overall? Completely unbiased take on the idea of fuck the business models. Let's start off with a skill, because that's what we did. On the first call we had, second call, probably the first 5 calls, it was just let's really narrow down your skill and start from there. So because you've started multiple other business models from the YouTube, SMA and stuff like this. So why was this different as per to starting with growth operating, going from a course and just copy and pasting what you were taught?
I think the whole business model idea, first of all, obviously a lot of people just try and sell you on it, right? They try and sell you on it to kind of get you into whatever their course is. But you don't ever actually build any fundamental skills that you can take over. I know, for example, a lot of my friends have done TikTok things, right? And they've done this business model of TikTok. They've made a bit of quick cash, but it doesn't build long-lasting skills. Whereas if you kind of start with the skills and you stack those skills as well, because I don't only have to do copywriting, I need to know automations, I need to know how to use AI. Once you stack those skills, you don't need to call yourself a growth operator or a trader or anything. You just have the skill there, and once that skill's there, you can turn it into any business model you want. You can turn it into anything you want. You can use it in any way that you want to, really, which is way better than actually just starting a typical business model compared to actually building real skills, stacking them, and then selling your skill as a service.
Yeah, 100%. We've got to shoot off for dinner in a moment, but I think just as a kind of final words to end off this this speed run, like I've been saying before, you've absolutely killed it. You've laid the foundations now to go forward with you have a really tangible business, and not only that, but the proof of concept that you can actually deliver the skill, and you can actually make someone money. The fact that you can spawn money out of thin air for somebody else. Everything's spawned off from there, right? And everything gets built on there on top. But you've absolutely killed it. And I think that I almost kind of want to thank you slightly, because I could have accidentally chosen the little retard, and it would have been the most difficult 90 days of my life. But honestly, you've killed it. And what I loved, and one of the reasons I chose you in the first place, was just because I saw in you that you would do it regardless. You would have done it on your own, and it may have taken an extra 4, 5, 6 months, but you would have got there. So I had the ability to kind of help you, like you said, speedrun that process, make it more efficient, more effective, and give you a tighter feedback loop to make more progress. But you swung the sword yourself, So obviously give yourself a pat on the back for that.
Appreciate that.
And who knows, maybe we'll do it again. But yeah, very well done, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I couldn't have done any of it really without you, without all the coaches, without everyone inside of, you know, all the support I had access to, and especially you and your frameworks. I mean, it just made it simple, right? It made it easy. It was like, you have the skill, you package it. We literally, the plan that we set out in the beginning came true. It's like, we made the plan, we executed the plan, and we got the results. And it sounds really simple, but because we just focus on the right things, we focus on the skill, then the offer, then the outreach, then the content, everything just came into play really easily.
That's it. Yeah, I was recording a clip earlier, and I was trying to think like if there was a kind of like a hack or a secret, but it wasn't. It was just a case of like, right, we're just going to follow the framework. We start off with the foundations, we then move on to outreach, we then talk about content, we'll then talk about, you know, actually grabbing your client, and then you did things on top of that, which we didn't even speak about initially. Like, you increased the lifetime value. You did like upsells within, like one of your clients, you then upsold them to another ticket. So you've been able to consume information and like apply it really, really quickly, which I think is fantastic. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Charlie as well?
Wonderful man, an absolutely wonderful man. You know,
the webinar wizard himself.
Listen, I'm worried because there's a new kid on the block and he calls himself a webinar whisperer. I have to step up my game. But no, you deserved it, man. Like, to be fair, I knew as soon as I first spoke to you, I was like, Marcus is gonna be fine. I was like, he's got the framework, he's got Callum, he's got good people around him, he'll be fine. So look, it just works, you know what I mean? Like, work, it just works.
The framework works, and that's the proof of concept. I mean, that's why we did it in the first place, because it was the whole idea of like, I'd done it myself twice. Charlie used the same framework, but it took you what, like a year?
What, the skills profit framework?
Yeah.
Nah, I did it a little bit.
But how long did it take?
Well, no, bro. So when we did the cohort,
Yeah.
which wasn't even 1-to-1, I closed 1.2k in 3 weeks.
You did,
I had 4 clients in 6 weeks before the cohort was over. It just works.
That's very true. It just works, yeah.
Works.
But that was it. That's why I wanted to do it with Marcus or someone, because I was like, this stuff, it works. It's just a case of, people want to see some random stranger do it. And I didn't know Marcus, probably we met like 90 days ago now, because there was a little bit of a gap between when we started. I didn't know him before then whatsoever. So this is a brand new person he's done it with, and it fucking works. The framework works. Skill to profit, baby.
What more do you want to see?
What more do you want to see?
How much more proof do you need?
Right, we're going out for dinner. Au revoir, people. So there you have it. That is exactly how I took Marcus from absolutely nothing to over $10,000 generated in 71 days and over $17,000 generated in 90 days. And the last thing I want to leave you with here is just the inspiration and belief that you can do it yourself, because nothing we did throughout that entire video that you just watched is something that is out of bounds for you. And so since you've stayed up until this point, I want to invite you to do the same. And I don't want to heavy pitch you on some kind of course or program or anything like that. But what I do want to say to you is that every single piece of information that he consumed, every tool, every resource, every coach, every support call, everything is up for grabs, and you can take advantage of that too. And so I want to make you an exclusive offer. Because of every single call that Marcus and I had, I recorded those calls. I've compiled them into a list of over 50 hours worth of recorded content, which contains almost every single conversation we had throughout this entire challenge. And I've combined all of those course recordings into one massive unedited course that you can actually watch. And so I do want to invite you to join the Inner Circle. And if you want to know more about what it actually consists of, I invite you to click the top link in the description below, book in a call with my team. And if you do end up joining the Inner Circle, then I'll give you access to every single call recording that we had on top of obviously the already included information, coaches, courses, community, all that kind of stuff. Again, to really eliminate any chance or possibility that you may have thinking that you can't actually do it yourself. And that's it. Now it's all down to you. The question really becomes, are you someone who can make it work or not? Regardless of what it is, I hope you enjoyed this video. I mean, will I run it back again? I don't know. Potentially, you'll have to go and follow me on Instagram to see if I post another speedrun application video. But up until that point, hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, it's been a while since I've made one of these videos, but I wanted to come on here and give a bit of an update around, I think it's about 2 months later. Yeah, we're looking at about, no, it's actually a month later. A month since I finished the speedrun and just kind of how I've got on, what I've been up to, all the progress I've been making. So really a load has changed. First of all, the big one, 10k pound month. We hit the first 10k pound month inside of the agency. Now that wasn't really through my own agency, that was working with a different agency, but I'll walk you through all of it right now. So basically what has happened in the past month is Callum let me go. He let me go off and kind of start my own thing, and obviously throughout the whole of the speed run I was talking, and I mentioned and I spoke about Charlie, who was part of Callum's speedrun, one of his first case studies, who also did webinars, and he was there to help me out with a lot of the clients and things like that because he had the experience of doing webinars and the automations and all of that. And he's a coach inside of Profit to Scale and Skill to Profit, helping with all those kind of things. And so we were speaking a lot, and over time we just started to really like just get along very well. We clicked a lot. And after the speed run, we sat on a call and we were like, listen, we're both doing webinars. You know, he said to me, Marcus, I think you're pretty good at what you do, clearly, which was nice to hear from somebody of that level, already there and doing it. And so we kind of had a conversation around that, and we thought, you know what, why don't we merge? Why don't we come together? Or more, why don't I join his agency? And so that's exactly what I did, allowing him to focus on scaling the agency, stepping into more of like an executive role, like a CEO role almost. Like he's now running ads, he's now making more YouTube videos, like hiring like editors and all of that, and I'm focusing on the fulfillment, except I am also now making a lot of money, a lot more money than I would do because I'm now working on his clients. So it's kind of like a win-win, and that just came through really just focusing on obviously doing as best as I could with the clients I got when I was doing it by myself, and then getting better over time. You know, we were already speaking about it, and it is actually a piece of advice I'd give to anybody if they are kind of starting out, is look for someone you can work for, like a copywriter, for example. Look for a copywriting agency. It does help you kind of speed track that progress. So after that kind of happened, we sat down and we started planning different things out. Obviously, we ran another webinar for my first client, Harren. We did that together. And we ended up doing like another 25k webinar, so another like 2k was paid out to me there. So in that 10k, in like kind of from in the last 30 days basically, right? It's technically not a 10k in the month of October, it was 10k in the last 30 days. First 3k of it was from my second client that I signed in the speed run. That was from the rest of the setup fee, 2k, and then the percentage performance payment. Then I also upsold him on a call funnel, so managed to get some money from that in 2k now, 2k later, 2k later still to be paid, but the 2k now, so that took us up to 5, all from one client. And then Harren, my first ever client, like I said, a payment of 2 off the back of that took us up to 7. And then me and Charlie signed our first client together officially. Equal, I don't take all the setup fee, but equal split of revenue share on the back end we take, and we worked on that together, and we've just finished up their first webinar, booked like 45 calls, so it's been really successful. And they piffed at 7.5k, so that's how much me and Charlie are charging now, potentially going up to 10 as well, which is crazy to think that, in July, that's like 4 months ago, or 5 months ago, I didn't even have a business, and now I'm going to be part of an agency charging 10k, of which I'll take on a 3 or 3.5 or 4, whatever. So yeah, so that percentage has gone well, so that allowed me to get up to that 10k mark, which was in 30 days, 10k pounds. I can't show you the Stripe screenshot because it's in my Monzo business account. I can't really show you that, but yeah, 10k, you have to take my word on that. Since then, it's just been amazing. I've just been locked in on fulfillment. All I do for now for the agency is fulfillment, and I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm helping Charlie scale. And it's kind of a weird turn of events because obviously throughout the whole speed run, you're focusing on seeing me build my own business, right? I'm teaching you how I built my own business and what I did, but I've now stepped into a role where I'm working for somebody else's business. I'm underneath him, and we're kind of acting like it's 50-50, but really I'm working for him, and I'm happy with that, absolutely. But it's gone from building my own business in just 30 days, then going to building someone else's business, obviously, which is a lot more profitable for me as well. So it's a win-win situation. But it just shows you that sometimes, like, I would recommend that you do have to drop your ego a little bit, and that's what I've done since, to figure out, okay, how can I go from being in this situation that I'm in now, where I've got some client results, but I want to scale further, to actually getting up to those like 10k pound months and 15k pound months. Well, I'm gonna have to put myself in a situation where I can fast track that, and Charlie and his offer to me of working alongside him was the best thing, because for example, he still pays me the same setup fee I would get, except I'm now able to leverage his client results, his testimonials, and do outreach on behalf of him and say that we've got all these results. So it's a massive advantage for me. And yeah, like if I could really recommend it to anybody, I would say just go out and if you really are struggling, obviously you're building your own business, but pick up some work from somebody else who's running a successful agency, because it allows you to leverage that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, everything's just been going amazing, working day in, day out. All the lessons Callum taught me, I'm still using. I'm still speaking with Callum, don't worry, we still do talk. And yeah, I've just been focused fully on doing the client work, helping Charlie with his YouTube videos, helping Charlie with his short form, helping him with his ads. And we're on the verge of signing a couple new clients. So I do think that the next 30 days could be like a 12k pound month. And then after that, it's like we want to be hitting 50k a month as an agency. So we did 30k pounds this month as an agency, and we want to do 50k pounds as an agency combined income. And obviously that would look like about 15-ish to 20 to me, depending on the situations, like 15, 20 towards me, and like 30, 35 towards Charlie. And that would be absolutely incredible. I mean, to say that in July I thought of quitting and giving up and doing all these things, and now I'm like sat here talking about, oh yeah, next month could be a 12k and this month's been 10k. If I were to leave like kind of one final note for everybody, nothing really changed for me going from 0 to 10k a month. Like, it was a good feeling to finally unlock it, but in terms of like, you think it's going to be the best possible thing that could ever happen to you, but for me it didn't change much, because you then lock onto the next goal. Obviously you get out of survival mode, you know, you don't have to worry about as much about money, but it doesn't change too much. And so to anyone still beginning or like stuck around that 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, or even stuck in the beginning stages not knowing where to start, if you focus entirely on the inputs and doing the right things every single day, it eventually will manifest itself. It eventually will come to life, right? Eventually, if you focus on just doing those things. And that's the biggest thing that I learned from Callum, is that Callum wakes up and he doesn't focus on what's tomorrow, what's yesterday. He focuses what do I have to do today, and just goes and takes violent action on that. And it's a lesson I've tried to pass on to all my friends doing entrepreneurship, to all the people that message me into Skill to Profit. You know, just take that violent action. It's easier said than done, but just wake up and say, if I'm making 10k a month, what does that version of me do? That version of me does this outreach, does this content, etc. Go and do those things, and then eventually your identity will match that person, and you will feel like you're already there before you're already there. And if you do those things for long enough, it become normal. Like at the start, the outreach, the content is hard, but it comes easy. And then when it's easy, it'll start to flow. And when it starts to flow, you'll pick something up, but it won't go well. And then you'll pick something else up, and that'll go okay. And then you'll finally pick something up that's good. And then you'll have to wait a little bit. Like I was doing this for 2 years beforehand, making nothing, failing, signing clients, refunding them, struggling, like barely breaking even. You know what I mean? And just through sticking and doing the things, eventually time caught up and I became that person. And now I want to do the same inputs. I wake up every single day and ask myself, what does the 30k a month version of myself do today to master the world, master what his goals, whatever. So that's the final note I could leave, because it is possible, right? I was sat there in July, not knowing what to do, thinking of quitting, and then now I'm here. And you've heard all these people say it's possible. It is. It genuinely is. It genuinely is possible. Anyone here can do it, and they will do it if you just start giving yourself permission to go fast, to move with speed, to not overthink it, and to just do. And so if I had to give like a final note, that's what I'd say. And obviously a huge shout out to Callum. I couldn't recommend the Skill to Profit framework more, and the Profit to Scale frameworks. Both amazing programs that I was fortunate enough to get access to. Skill to Profit, obviously something I've always thought about joining before I spoke to Callum. And the stuff in there is really, really good if you just don't know what to do, right? You don't know where to start. But then also if you're looking to scale, I'm actively using a lot of the modules inside of Profit to Scale right now to figure out how we can go to that next level. And both of those things have massively helped me. The framework simply works. If you think about it, anywhere Skill to Profit works, anywhere Profit to Scale works. I don't think you really need any more proof of that. You just need to take action. And then for the people that are kind of on the fence of like, oh, do I join the program? Let me say this to you. Yes, stop overthinking it. I overthought it and I didn't join like a year ago. Now I'm here thanks to these frameworks. And so obviously I'd say the same thing, right? Just take that action, just go for it, because I'm telling you, you won't believe how amazing it can change your life and how much of an impact it can have on you. So yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you for all the effort you put in, Callum, and I'll see everyone soon.